Hello, I'm Chris Solo, and welcome to the Fabled 42, where we build community through friendship, gaming, and chaos. You're watching the Realms of Ukodor here at twitch.tv/Fabled42. You can catch us live every Wednesday at 6:30 Pacific. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 86. We've been doing this for a long time. This is the first episode of the final story arc. If you are new to the stream, now is a good fucking time to start watching this. It's gonna be crazy. Everyone is level 18. I am jazzed. So, before we get into tonight's show and find out what these guys have been doing for quite a while, we're gonna jump into our announcements. So, there are two ways you can support all of the other players in this stream or any of the other streams. It's through subscriptions or through bits. Either way, when you make these donations for healing potions, inspiration die, or what have you, all you have to do is tag either myself or the moderators and say, hey, this potion is for Torque, and I will try to bring it in as quickly as possible, usually throughout the narrative. Sometimes I just throw potions at people. So your support definitely keeps these players alive. It keeps them inspired. It keeps them motivated. Your help is greatly appreciated. Also, if you are an Amazon Prime member, connect that to your Twitch account and you create Twitch Prime. What is Twitch Prime? Well, it gives you one free subscription every month. You do have to resub. We do have a lot of Twitch Prime subscriptions and free subscriptions, but they do fall out every month. So you do have to resub that free subscription every month, so that way you can continue to support the channel. Any of the subscriptions, you get one healing potion and one inspiration die that you can use for any of our shows, whether it be Monday, Wednesday, Sunday. You can use one potion, one inspiration die every single show during the month of your subscription. That size of those potions and inspiration die vary depending on how big of the subscription that you apply to. This also does apply to our Patreon subscription. So, big shout out to our longtime sponsors, Griffin Co. Anything that you see that is 3D printed from in any of our shows is brought to you by Griffin Co. So please take a look at them. Also, we are using Vorpal, so we are Vorpal powered. So the video and audio, the player indicators, the digital dice, the zoom features on our map is brought to you by Vorpal. So please take a look at Vorpal board. Big shout out to the rest of our sponsors: Tabletop Things, 8-Bit Coffee Co., Critical Dice, Plaid Elephant Props, and Plus One Crafting. You might have noticed that I forgot one, and I forgot one for a reason. Go ahead and check out Master Monk's Kickstarter for their Oracle dice boxes. If you are a fellow dice goblin like myself or Jadobi, you might want to display your dice in a very nice dice tray box with a glass thing on it, and it still smells good.
I can't get over how pretty that thing is.
And I think that was a great GW moment to put in our timestamp for gifts.
Yes.
Please. Oh my god, please get that.
Please mark that one.
Join our Discord.
So we do have a few new things. There's a lot of people are coming to help just try to amp up what Fabled 42 is, help up with Ukodor and all the new shows that we have going. Logan has a brand new show starting soon called Cantor Chronicles. He'll be DMing. So that's the first non-Ukodor show that we have on the channel, not including Adventures in Middle-earth, which is still kind of Ukodor-ish, but it's different. So it's a completely homebrew world. I'm really excited for that. So we do, Lizzie was bringing this up, we do have a GIF section. So if you see a really cool clip it. If you see a really good moment, man, I really wish that this was a really good time for us to make a GIF, like whatever. All you have to do is just grab that timestamp. That's it. Realms, Wednesday, what the fuck date is it? 4/29 at whatever time Solo did something stupid, go ahead, send it in there, and we'll make a GIF of it and we'll post it on there. So there's a lot of things that are in motion. I'm really amped up right now, and I haven't had any caffeine. This is very scary.
That's
so
impressive.
I'm going to be doing a few giveaways because we're just in this amazing motion, just everything that there's just so many things going on. But I'm going to do a few giveaways that I may or may not save auditorially, so just keep an eye out on the Twitch chat. If you see that raffle, go ahead, ! Raffle, and enter that giveaway. Without further ado, I would like to share this excitement with you all. The reason why I am this amped is we have a brand new trailer for this final story arc that brings me right back to 80s Saturday morning cartoons. So let's get ready for the next chapter of
The
Realms of Ukodor.
Muster your courage, it must not abate. Allies are more than well, evil retreats. With fate in your hand, now the story's complete. Ukodor, world full of mystery to explore. Monsters and danger around every turn. Soon enough you will learn. The choice is yours. monsters and danger around every turn, and soon enough you will learn. The choice is yours. The choice is yours. Magic and wonder around every turn, and soon enough you will learn. The choice is yours.
And welcome back. The trailer was so epic we had to play it twice.
Worth it. So worth it.
Last we left, the Lightbringers
Everything is fine.
were in middle fight with Viktor in a demon form. They were fighting him to the tooth, used almost all of their spell slots, the reserves. They continued to fight and just dig deep after punch after punch. Viktor continued to just lay waste to them, but they were resilient. They were able to fight back. Even after so many of their healing spells were counterspelled by Viktor, they were able to fight back, removing him from his demon form, killing his 2 other shadow demons he had formed there. He had called out a favor to someone who was bound to him. A Ifrite, a genie of sorts, coming to finish what Viktor had started so Viktor could focus on trying to kill all of you. And during that, Denahi pretty much just one-shotted that dude and killed the Ifrite. And during that, they saw this woman, a beautiful woman, tall, giant form, beautiful, like almost ethereal hair flowing down, white gowns with gold trim, screaming. No one could hear her, looking around as if she can't see anybody. She had shackles on her arms and her wrists and her ankles. Continuing the fight, they realized that this woman was Riha, and Viktor was trying to release her from her binds in Vasidius and bring her to the Shadow Ward where she could roam free then. She broke 1 shackle, 2 shackles, and eventually 3. 3 of the 6 members of the Lightbringers were unconscious on the ground. Lizzie had 2 hit points, hiding behind the throne, hoping that no one would see her so she could try to heal her friends. Tallulah was kind of going toe-to-toe with Viktor for a moment before she was knocked down. Jadobi, back in his normal form after being an epic golden dragon and just trying to just decimate Viktor and everything he was standing for. Down on hit points as well. Jadobi called out, remembering the owl, remembering Denahi's deity, calling out for a favor in a desperate time of need. Denahi heard the voice of her patron, of her deity, giving her the ability to rise just for a moment, to hopefully land a killing blow on Viktor. And she did. It was Shatter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you watched Viktor's body just start to dissimulate and crush and just eventually just explode. And before it was exploding, you saw that mist that Viktor would do every time he would almost die, like he was trying to escape, and you saw the shadows, no longer bound by Viktor's greed and hatred for the world. Now he succumbed to the shadow as well, and you watched as that mist got pulled back before Viktor's body disintegrated. About the same time, you saw Riha look in anger and fear that she is not free, and she was getting dragged back down to Vasidius, to all the levels of the hells, back into her prison. The dust had settled. Ica came flying out of the ground, his imprisonment released. Same with Unos, the elder green dragon that Cerise brought to help aid the party. Came back as the imprisonment spell was no longer. Looking around, they saw their friend Tallulah look up, eyes teary, smiling for a moment as she dropped her sword. Tallulah's body fell silent and motionless, as she still possessed the blood of vampire. And when Viktor died, all vampires followed suit. And Tallulah went home with her fiancé and her mother. Even though the Lightbringers had won the battle, they had lost a lot. Cerise and Sayan went into the other corridor to see if her family was saved, and they were. They embraced. They gathered all the survivors, Styx, and the other surviving members of the airship came in to help load all the survivors and the Lightbringers onto the airship, and they left. Heading back to the Fey Ward to debrief, exhale, and just process everything that just happened. Meeting Jadobi's family, all of your friends and other counterparts that you've interacted with all throughout this. This was a celebration of life and a mourning for all who has lost. They had several celebrations of just, igniting the bodies in their normal way. And finally, it was kind of bittersweet, but Jadobi was able, because he finished his druid quest, he is now officially one of the Warden of the Tarve. You were able to celebrate in that, rejoice in the life. Eventually, you all found your rest. But the next morning, you all arose, traveled back to Tydean, and put Tallulah to rest. Said your goodbyes, and you all went your separate ways. Jadobi, his mother, his niece, and Aika traveled through the tree back to the Verdant Plateau, where he brought up Ian. Jadobi did reincarnation on Ian, bringing him back as a full-blooded elf, a little bit older than Jadobi himself. In shock and just love and embrace, he came and embraced with Jadobi. Jadobi slightly standoffish, explaining to him that he needed to relinquish his name, his titles, and everything. This is his second chance to redeem and make up for all of the things that he did to everyone, but especially in the city of Edak. And that's where we left last episode. 10 months have gone by. 10 months the Lightbringers have all done extraordinary things, relaxing things, heart-to-hearts, and so on. And that's where we're going to pick up for tonight's show. And we're going to start with Torque. Can you please tell us what Torque has been up to for the past 10 months?
Torque went back to Motul, where his original people were, with his new people, because Jadobi was kind enough to take him back to the Earth Ward, where he could meet up with everybody, and they did a big mass movement of a lot of the Goliath to Motul, and they brought him back safe and sound. They went to their old village. Too many bad memories. We put everyone to a proper burial. We did our best to take care of everything that still needed to be taken care of. And personally, Torque ended up creating the family that he had lost. And occasionally traveling south to meet up with Denahi. They had a few encounters to imbibe beverages and whatnot. Otherwise, it was bringing the clan back and bringing the Goliaths back to what they were, but now in Huago. So they're or Havo. So excuse me, Hagwo. God, that one's hard to say. And that's where they pretty much. That's where Denahi finds him to help him get back, because there's a calling from Jadobi. I will now give it to Denahi.
All right. Well, after the battle, I think Denahi spent a little bit of time with Jadobi to learn more about divination, connecting with the more spiritual side of herself, one she's always kind of wanted to explore. So she did better commune with her fire god before going back to Motul as well, trying to search and find any tieflings left from maybe where she came from. There weren't very many. A lot of them she helped try to rehabilitate, because there's a little bit less of a bias, since a lot of the paladins there that had that bias against tieflings were ultimately destroyed by us. Just trying to rebuild the tiefling, I guess, kind of keep their, I guess they've always had a very strong value to themselves, but trying to reintroduce them to society, which hasn't been all that easy for her. But she's done it. A lot of the tieflings so far do have jobs in a nearby city called...
Oh, so Jacques. Wait, what is it?
Salak.
Salak.
Yes.
Yeah. Retreating from the mountains. A lot of the tieflings end up staying, kind of learning powers other than fire, which she was happy to teach. She has a kind of a collection of students herself who work in the city happily. There are some that she couldn't sway, that she struggles to sway to this day, that retreated back to the mountains nearby. But they still go to her for some guidance once in a while, and she is trying to find the balance between making them happy and kind of having them settle spiritually as well. Lots of drinks with Torque, meeting a lot of his new family, and him attempting to meet mine without getting killed on the spot. But we've had some good times, and we stay connected.
Luckily, I'm a little bit much to burn.
Yes. And they can definitely try, but they'll ultimately fail. But yeah, that's where Denahi left off.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to jump to Saiyan. We're just going to go down the line, actually.
Yeah, I was just going to point out that seemed to work out perfectly.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, wait, that way.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Just keep
There's a
going
little
that
reversal
way.
thing going on here. Having fulfilled his missive to protect the Lightbringers in their fight against Viktor, Saiyan set off on his own, determined to find new purpose. It was his oath to protect those who could not protect themselves. For the time being, the Lightbringers would no longer need him. Though he would hardly let on, the battle with Viktor shook him more than he let on. The first time over 2 centuries in this world, he felt doubt. The sword of Jocelyn the White called to him after Tallulah fell, but while Saiyan was willing to carry the burden of the fallen angel's weapon, he was not yet convinced of his worth to wield the weapon of this holy relic. He needed answers, a chance to renew the sanctity and his confidence in his oath. He needed Athora's guidance. Unable to commune with her, he sought her out. He traveled all across the material plane to find her, from the Goblin Peaks to the Devil's Spine, from the Ironclaw Mountains to the Misty Summit. He searched far and wide, but she was nowhere to be found. Deep in hibernation, she could not answer his call. Defeated once more, he returned to his roots, searching for odd jobs to protect small towns, seeking to regain his resolve. Upon hearing Jadobi's call, he knew what he had to do next. A chance to prove himself once more, to renew his oath of devotion to protection of the sanctity of life, and to protect those who cannot.
Okay, thank you. Jadobi.
Well, when everything was all said and done, the first course of action that Jadobi went for was to try to connect to all the fallen cities that were holding a beacon that Viktor was alighting. And luckily he got through, and many survived, and they are currently rebuilding. Rebuilding Edak with the labor of Zyalor, Jadobi's former nephew, Ian Ursus, the heir to the Duke and Duchess of the city of Edak. I give the name Zyalor to him because it means rebirth in Elvish. Also, I wish to help rebuild the city of Tydean. help organize our newly inhabited found city of Valari, there were many people who wished to stay there. So I had a hand in helping organize the new recipients of our floating city. Uh, as one of the new wardens of the Tarve, I spent a good majority of my time revisiting the elemental planes, just to understand more of their customs and their different ways, and trying to get a better understanding of what it is that I am supposed to be doing, what is expected of me, and also what is expected of everyone that I'm working with. So I also, in my time in stopping by the Fey Ward, had to see my Ortu friend, Cerise. I wanted to help her and her people rebuild their fallen dead fields. Anything that I could have done to help, I put a hand forward. Also, in this time, I took it upon myself with some other minds that I know went far beyond, to research Vasidius, the city of lost souls that we heard so much about, that Riha was taken dominion over. Also, with a good amount of help from Giselle, since she is one of the most devout divine clerics that I know. Also, researching corruption magics with my mother Giselle, Leroy, and all the leaders of the 4 wards and Council of Donadel, using the magic of the Dark Rose within the Warden staff that I had luckily absorbed right before the end of the fight with Victor. Giselle and I also had a talk, and we both decided that our paths greatly differ, but will always be bound together by the love of our son, little Zelarosian. I went on a spiritual pilgrimage to find out why animals of this land of Syros are so not as kind as the other animals on this land that I have visited. I feel like I made a good dent in the distance between druids and the animals of Syros. Hopefully that continues to evolve. Lastly, I worked with Max to build an elegant, elaborate, and beautiful orphanage in honor of our close friend. The Tallulah Grand Estate, children's home for the lost and beloved. After all of these deeds had been done, I had a call from Facina, and I then called my friends to have this meeting in the Fae.
Okay. Thank you, Cerise.
Okay. Well, Cerise finally got her family back. So while she was in the Fae, she spent a lot of time trying to work with the people that were left to rebuild. So for those of you who don't know what an Ortu is, Cerise is... She sort of looks like a pixie, but she's a normal-sized, medium-sized person, and her people all have some sort of druidic connection to the land, although they may, be bards, for example. Most of her people are more druidic than her. So Victor had destroyed their lands. When he kidnapped all of their people, they had sort of decayed, and this whole province of the Fae became known as the Dead Fields. So a lot of magic needed to go into repairing that. And with Victor dead, the magic preventing them from growing things had dispersed, but our traditional connection to our lands had been broken because he had destroyed everything. He'd burned our sacred grove of trees. And the sacred grove of trees were sort of like ancestors to us. So the first few months, we had sort of just scattered, returned to our homesteads, and there was some happy time where I got to reconnect with my family and sort of figure out what it meant to be, this adult who hadn't seen them for 90 years, who had grown up sort of, without them. And it was sort of hard, but also sort of wonderful. And eventually a great council of RoU elders was convened to decide what to do about repairing the sacred grove. And they had originally been awakened trees, but they decided that because they couldn't have trees that ancient anymore, some of the RoU elders themselves would transform and take root and to root this new phase of the RoU. So this would obviously take a lot of powerful magic. And so at this point, we called in Festina, who's the leader of the Tarve in the Fae, and Jadobi was there to help. And so on the day, the winter solstice, when we do our traditional renewal ceremony, our winter renewal ceremony, we transformed a number of our elders, including my grandmother. And it was at the ceremony, Festina asked that I come back and study with her because she was worried about Riha. And she wanted me to find a wizard who had been camping out in the Fae. So, I don't know if I should change it off here.
Sure.
Introduce our wizard.
Sure. So, yes, this guy right here. At some point, long ago, by the standard of my dwarven memory, Tormund Dunhark, fought the Lich. Oh my gosh, I should have had this open.
Vulrak.
I apologize. Vulrak, with my party known as the Travelers. Unfortunately, through some sort of magic that Vulrak did, I was teleported to the Fey Ward. The first months or years or days or kind of everything blended together in the mix of things. I kind of went through the stages of, depression, denial, all that, kind of frustrated with myself that I couldn't do more, until I finally found a home for myself, and made a small yurt and brewery there, where I kind of spent the rest of my days, or so I thought, attempting to figure out how to get out of the Fey Ward, until a small, or actually medium-sized, sprite-like creature came up to me and introduced herself and told me there was a way out, told me that there were actually people here willing to help, and asked for my aid in restoring her lands. I obviously accepted, and we went out and continued to do the good work, ensuring that her people could thrive in the post-Viktor, as she told me, world.
Okay. Well, thank you all for sharing in detail what you've been doing the past 10 months. And as everyone has been saying, Festina is calling a meeting. It is said to be the biggest meeting of creatures of the light in existence. Jadobi began to use his ring of sending and other just means to communicate or assist in the group meeting. And it was decided that they all were going to meet at the floating city of Villari first to reconnect, and then travel together as a team through the Mother Ukodor tree at their second home. Cerise and Tormund got there first, followed by Denahi and Torque arriving, and Jadobi and Sayan arriving shortly after that. So, the first time that you all have been together, and Tormund, what would you all like to do as you see each other kind of coming off of the teleportation circles and such?
Hey guys, it's good to see you. I'll run and I'll give Cerise a hug and and I'll give Denahi a hug. Have you been practicing? with your divination.
Yes, I have.
I thought you were saying Preston.
So far, so
practicing
good.
hugs.
I have been practicing that too.
I can
Not
tell
making
you
as much progress.
you were definitely less awkward on that hug.
Thanks. That means a lot.
Torque! I'll walk up to Torque and I'll like kind of like play punch him with my weak self. How have you been?
Oh,
Torque,
Torque's muted.
I think you have some of your beard in your mouth. I can't hear you, friend.
Oh, no, Jacoby. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you. You look great.
Thank you.
Did you get bigger? Have you been working out?
I think bigger in the middle, you mean?
Ah, yes, of course, my big friend. And Saiyan comes in and all of a sudden just bear hugs Torque.
I try to
Good
dodge
to
it.
see you.
I'm not caught in the middle. Like, oh.
Oh, you're not getting away. And he goes and gives Nahi a big old hug as well.
Cerise just gets in there. She's like, "Oh, group hug time!
Oh, yes. Oh, little one. Yes, little one.
It's been so long. It's so good to see you three."
And you see, some of you have never seen Tormund before. Jadobi has seen him in passing, maybe in like a month or so, but he's not super well acquainted. It's only really been Cerise. So as you all are there, and because we're starting a new arc, and it was a really good idea by Cerise, so can everybody describe what each of your characters look like, so Tormund can really feel like he's getting that image. And we'll start with Torque again.
Torque, 8 feet tall, covering up a little more than in the past, I think. But for the most part, just straps and axes at the back, or axe in this case at the back, with a bag, a very large bag. That's just kidding. It's a bag of holding. And the big beard, which is not like a normal D&D or sort of canon Goliath. These are sort of Nordic Viking-like Goliaths. So the big beard, the knotted braided hair to the back, probably a few more grays than most are usual, or like usually seeing me. But yeah, that's Torque.
Denahi is, how tall is she? Like 6 foot something.
Yeah, like 6'2",
she's a
6'3".
tiefling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's purple. She has long black hair. She does have hooves, and she's very well decorated. A lot of jewelry, earrings, things like that. Subtle, but kind of loud at the same time. That contradicts it a lot, but, not too tacky, but tasteful, but a lot. Otherwise, she has goat-like eyes, so she has, like, the terrifying eyes. But instead of the typical tiefling horns that bend backwards, hers tend to spray outward, so they look more like antlers than they do goat's horns. That's her.
Saiyan.
She hasn't changed much.
Saiyan is a golden dragonborn who stands only a little under a foot shorter than Torque, at just over 7 feet tall. He wears shining mithril armor that is only outshone by the radiance of his own scales, the radiant golden glow that they give off. He has icy blue eyes that give off a warmth from his giant grin that he's constantly wearing on his face. And he has 2 swords currently sheathed on his back. One of them seems like it has not been used in quite some time. The other one seems like it's definitely gotten a lot more use. And around his neck is a tiny little pseudo-dragon that is just kind of wrapped around, just, hanging out, just, looking around, checking out the scene, seeing what's going on, who's golden as well.
So Jadobi, he is a half-elf. He has sun-kissed skin, and he has white tiger strap tattoos. He has
I thought
white.
you were gonna say caramel.
That too. He has white tiger stripe tattoos all over his body and like kind of along his face, and a very tribal yet with a regal spin on it as well. It's an interesting sight to see. He has bright, vibrant green eyes. He has kind of long cornrows with the design of kind of like leaves, like braided into his braids. His braids kind of go all the way down his back and a little bit past his waist. He has bits and parts of black dragon scale along him, like some on his chest, like one arm, one leg. He kind of likes the mismatch kind of look. He has this thick leather, almost gladiatorial belt that he has like pockets and things on, and he has this long green kind of gown with like accents of gold. And lastly, on his left arm, he has like this intertwining white bark bracer with this magical greenish bluish gem in it.
Thank you.
All right. So, Cerise is so happy to have someone who's even remotely in her height category now. She stands at 4'5", and she has wings coming out of her back that almost look like dragonfly wings. She's very small, trim. She weighs like 40 to 50 pounds. She has like red copper hair, sort of cut off at her shoulders. She has green ornamental face paints. And though you would never tell by looking, she is wearing armor, but it's glamored armor. So she just looks like she's wearing like a sort of gauzy, flowy dress. And over her back, she carries a beautiful golden harp.
Awesome. Tormund, you see, is a dwarf that stands about 5 foot or 4 foot. 4 foot 7 inches off the ground. His hair is kind of his hair and his beard are both this golden blonde color. His hair kind of unkept and matted. His beard is superbly knotted and tied, taking extreme pride in that. He wears a breastplate with a leather vest over it. That kind of the vest is more of a very simple. He's trying not to overshow the fact that he's seen better days, and he carries on his back a warhammer that has a bunch of dwarvish runes inlaid into it.
Okay. Great. So now that you all know what each other looks like, again, anyone who's jumping in now is jumping into the final story arc of the Realms of Ukodor Season 1. Tormund, now you have an idea of who you see. You all can continue to embrace and relate and connect before you do decide to venture on.
Everyone, I want to introduce you to Tormund.
Hello. I am Tormund Dunhark. A pleasure to meet you all.
Hello.
Cerise has told me much about you.
Good things, I hope.
More or less.
Oh, shut up! I've told you only good things.
I know. I get it.
Well, any friend of the little one is a friend of mine, and he gives you a big old pat on the back.
But instead,
Yeah, I'll do the same.
All right.
Suddenly, Tormund has these 2 giant welts on the back.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean you go to hit him, and he's a pretty ripply dude. He's pretty muscled
He's
out.
solid. He's solid.
Yeah, he's solidly built.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cerise said you were the one who likes ale.
Me?
Yes, you.
Well, of course.
No, he's freshly sober.
I will pull out a small bottle, and I'll hand it to him.
This I made especially for big ones like you. Keep you going all
I'd love
day.
to try it.
You've created it.
Yes, I am a brewer by habit.
Oh, well, we should be fast friends.
Yes.
Well, let's not waste any time. Let's drink some.
Or this is my, I call it the Dune Horror Camera. It is a nice dark porter.
Let me see. Let me try that. Hand it over once you're done. Save some for us.
As Torque drinks and drinks and drinks, the bottle does not empty.
Oh.
Oh, that's
There's
dangerous.
sorcery here.
Wish we
I
had
like
this
it.
in our journeys. Would have been fucking handy then.
This reminds me of a
Like a
story I
dangerous
was once
pastime.
told.
I don't know
comes in
shit
handy.
about beer, but this is great. Wonderful job.
Well, don't hog it all.
Don't drink too much. Remember, we have a meeting, a
There
council
we go.
meeting.
Yes.
To go to.
There we go.
Gotta hand it upward now.
Don't forget Adobe.
Oh, yes, here.
Now we all have coronavirus. Just kidding.
Oh God.
Wow.
That's not so bad.
Sorry.
That's not so
Actually,
bad.
this
Let's
version,
not-
probably not.
Let's not drink too much, though. Like I said, we have a meeting to go to.
Yes, and remember,
We're not.
we all used to sit at the same table at one point.
And here you go. Back to you.
Yes. Thank goodness
Or
we
at
did
least
that.
most of us.
Because that just happened.
I've had so much ale in the past 5 months since we met.
Yes, it's the only thing I do.
And I've been far too sober. So let's alleviate that, shall we?
It sounds like good times to come.
When you spend many days or years or months or I don't know, when you are in the Feywild, you like to drink. That's what I always say.
And
I
I pull
guess
out.
now's as perfect time as any. I want to share some news. As I was leaving with Denahi, a young one whispered in my ear, "It looks like there'll be another in the chain." We're expecting!
What?
Yes.
Wait, with who? What?
This is
Well-
news to me.
Well, you know that Zara and I were always very close. And while I thought our years of this kind of thing were over, it appears we have been blessed by the gods.
I run up to him and give him another huge hug. Congratulations, you
Thank you,
bastard!
thank you.
Uh-huh.
A joyous occasion.
My friends,
Occasion.
you'll make a wonderful father. Congratulations.
We shall
I think
see.
so,
It was
too.
not expected at all.
You just found this out now.
Well, when we left, that's why I've been a little cagey since we left.
Oh,
I
so
figured it was something. Didn't
tell me
expect
about
that.
I know all about those special surprises. All right,
Bet
well,
yes.
you do.
How's your
How-
son?
How's your son? Can I see him?
yes, he's doing very well. Him
Where
and
is little Zelly?
Key and Giselle are living on the found city of Alari now.
You mean the city we're in right now?
Yeah, the city you're in right now.
Yes.
Sounds like a perfect opportunity.
We have time for a detour.
I mean, about that
All right,
time,
well,
you see Giselle holding Zelly just.
Right there!
Hi, everyone. Hello. And you watch as little Zella Rostian, who is about a year old now, give or take. He's a cute little half Firbolg, half quarter elf, quarter human, little adorable thing. He changes shape really quickly and turns into like a little hummingbird. When you just watch the little wings, and then you watch the wings stop, and he kind of glides. He just starts to do some really fun things and then pops back. He kind of does that and then pops back up and just dives into Denahi's hands.
I hate it when he does that.
Children.
He missed
take
you.
it.
He missed you, Hunty Denahi.
I wanted to see him, not hold him.
Denahi, do a perception check for me.
He's
5.
a year
5.
old.
Okay. I think Jadobi's passive perception though might catch something. But so Zell jumps off of you and runs towards Saiyan maybe or Torque, and he has one of the gems off of your horns. He's pickpocketed you.
Oh.
But
Did I notice it?
no, you didn't notice it, but Dad noticed it.
Oh.
Zelarosian.
He
Give-
goes.
give.
And his hands are empty.
I know that one too. Come on. I give it. Denahi, this is your doing. I hope you know you taught him this. And I give the gem back.
You know what? And I reach into my bag, and I pull out a gem that's like this big, that I got from the mountains of my hometown. And it's like a bright red with a black spiral in the center, and I hand it to him. This one's better.
Yes, it's all yours.
And,
You can have
and he
it.
gives you a big old hug.
I hug him back.
Oh.
I just pat him and rub him on the head.
Little scamp. Run along, you little shaver.
Tormund, about this time, as everyone's having this embrace, you're feeling a really, really like hot breath on the back of your neck. Who's this guy?
He's the new friend of Cerise, Ica. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay.
And about that time, this monstrous owl bear walks right past you, and it's kind of like looking you up and down for a moment. They all can hear him talk. You can't hear him just yet.
I also can't, I believe, right?
No, you can't. You could. You know what?
I don't think I can understand him either.
He definitely said Saiyan couldn't. I wasn't there when he.
I smell a retcon happening.
No, there was something that I added about the Fae where I thought that you.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So, but then technically, fuck it, you all can hear him. I don't care. So you hear this really deep voice, and you think it's like another big figure like maybe Saiyan or Torque, but it is a giant owl bear who's talking to you, and he kind of walks around.
He's very protective, you see. He's.
Ica!
Where's the
Come here!
He is one of my most powerful companions that I have, and I'm glad he's here.
And about the time that Jadobi says that, Jadobi gets hit like in the back of his leg, and you see this little rock ball that rolls out into the group, pops up, and you see this tiny little dog like rock golem, and he hisses at Jadobi.
I don't think I like him, Rad.
Watch your tongue, Greg. We talked about that.
And he rolls over to Denahi.
This is Greg. He's another companion of mine, and he's also very protective.
And he thinks he's more powerful than Micah.
He thinks he's more powerful than anyone. He might be. So, should I
Tormund is so sensory overloaded at this point by like a talking owlbear, a little rolling rock elemental thing, like
All these different people.
A 1-year-old that can turn into a hummingbird, like
it's a lot.
Look at owlbear and a rock.
Oh, but
thing,
look at
just
that
like-
ocean. We just came. We're still at the transportation area, right? Which overlooks the sea.
Yeah, so it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and
Thank
Tormund-
you,
I don't want to
Raiders.
leave. We have ale.
Welcome. Yeah. So the idea is that Tormund, you would have got there a little early. You were able to walk around and see this beautiful place. And about that time, Giselle walks up to you, Jadobi, and picks up little Zelly. I believe it's time for you to go. Good luck, my friends. It was very nice seeing you all once again, but
All right.
we have to go as well. Good luck.
All right. I'll bend down and kiss my son on the forehead. All right. See you soon. And I'm going to turn. I'm going to escort everyone to the tree that we will be.
Please tell your mother I said hello.
You know I will, Giselle. Of course.
Okay.
I will open the tree. The mother Ukodor tree, and that we will go to the Fey Ward.
Can you describe that for me, please?
Of course, of course. I walk up to this this very elaborate, gorgeous tree that's very unique in itself. I walk up and I kind of trace a sigil in the tree as I mutter in Druidic with kind of like a ethereal, echoing voice. And where my fingers traced is just like lines of light. And the lights will come together and make like this line in the tree as it begins to open as a door.
Mm-hmm.
And through this portal, you see just kind of like a swirling mass of ethereal branches and kind of just orbs spinning around. And you see it kind of go deeper and deeper until on the other end you see another opening to the Fey Ward.
Okay. So as you all hurry through this giant, majestic tree, and you vamp through the plains, using transferable plants, a little homebrew style, through this old, ancient tree that is part of literally the core of Ukodor, you travel through the plains and arrive in the center of the city. What would you all like to do?
Give away a shirt.
Already started one.
Right.
On it.
Cerise, would you like
Yeah.
to lead the way?
Of course. And so I start leading them off to the palace of Oriel through the streets. So I think when you did the battle, it looked like sort of like a medieval town, but I think when you get to the palace is sort of grown out of the tree.
Yeah.
And you sort of like it looks all very organic and a little spooky. There's like mushrooms that glow as you walk in. Sort of the colors are a bit ethereal. It's very pretty.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
So
I'm digging it.
as you all walk into the city is definitely much different than the last time you were here. The atmosphere is lively. There is hope in the air. You walk around, you see children playing, and you see all the little druids doing little druid magic, like the little druid camp that we had here before. And you continue heading towards the keep, the Emerald Palace, where Facina is. And as you enter and walk up the steps and you walk through the gates and the guards open the door for you, and you see all of the tiefling guards all throughout the city, and they're pushing you through, and people are giving you hat nods and tips, and you're walking through this space, and people who see you, they smile. They feel even a little bit more uplifted that the Lightbringers are here. And you all walk through the stairs, and you get to the main hall of the Emerald Palace, and you see hundreds of people surrounding a table. And there are some seats left at the table for the 6 of you to sit and join Facina and some of the other members of the council. You do see Jadobi's mother and niece here. You do see Max and Leroy here as well. Among a lot of other familiar faces, but not other keynote name faces. But she has called a council of all the beings of light. And as you arrive, Facina looks at you, and Facina is a Tarve. She is one of the first creatures ever created in the world of Ukodor. She is nearly 5,000 years old and cannot leave the city of Oriel here in the Fey Ward. Her life essence is bound to Ukodor, and Ukodor to her. She stands up, her long, greenish-brown hair, almost plant-like. Welcome, Lightbringers. Please, have a seat. We have been waiting for you. We have much to discuss.
Yes, it's good to see you, and I'll walk up to her and I'll give her a hug.
And she gives you one in return.
Okay. I will go and be seated.
Okay.
Same. Hella awkward.
Yeah.
It's like going up to the principal's office. So, as you all have your seat, all right. So, where shall I begin? The Lightbringers have joined us. We all know of all of their antics and all of the assistance they have done for the realm. Defeating Viktor, something that we have failed to do for thousands of years. They were successful. But I have grave news to share with you all. While Viktor was defeated, and Riha was sent back to her tomb in Visitius. Our scouts. And as she says scout, she kind of looks down, a little sad. Were able to give us some information before. Well, they won't be making it home. That Riha has found a way to break her chains. And we must begin in our attempts to find out as much information as we can about corruption magic and about her plans. Because she cannot be allowed to come here. To come to the material plane. Riha, the goddess of darkness. If she breaks those chains, none of the other gods can do anything. We will be on our own if she is successful.
Why is it that they are unable to help in this?
Many years ago, when I was first created, Izir allowed the gods and the titans and his creations to walk freely in the land. He realized that mucked the water, so he pushed the gods and titans away. Obviously, there was a revolution. Gods versus gods, titans versus titans. And he recycled and rebuilt the creation of all of us. Eventually, gods continued to meddle and meddle and meddle in the ways of life on Ukodor. And he banished all gods and goddesses from setting foot or doing anything on the land of Ukodor or any of the plains surrounding it, including himself. She has found some loophole. So if she sets foot on land, there's nothing that the Izir can do about it, let alone all of us. So, does anybody have any information? Anything that we have found in these past 10, 11 months?
Well, I can start, I suppose, from the research that I have found, with the help of the council and others outside. It seems that, though she is locked down in Visitius, that Visitius is the lowest circle, I guess you would say, of the 9 hells. And as uncomfortable as it makes me feel, the 9 hells, the portal is linked to the Fire Ward.
Yes.
Which I am assuming that your scouts went through to get there. I have been told that if anything were to happen, that I could go cautiously to the city of the Fire Ward with help and backup, to maybe get any more information, maybe of the fiends or devils there. It's of course never really ideal to speak or bargain or any of the above with them, but at this particular rate, I feel that it may be somewhat useful.
Well, there are in fact more levels than 9 in the hells. But yes, you and your friends, if you so choose, the quest at hand is to gain as much information as we can about what she's doing, how we can potentially stop her, find out as much as we can about corruption magic. Head to the Thor in the Fire Ward, gain access and entry, which is not easy, through the gate to Visitius. Travel through 11 levels of the most unimaginable terrain and encounters you could possibly fathom to get to the lowest level, the 12th level, where she lies, waiting.
I look over the table. Has anyone heard of the missing book of corruption, by any chance?
Everyone starts
Have I?
whispering. If Jajobi would have told you about it a little bit, it's something that was hidden in lock and key. And when Jajobi says that, there's concern, especially with the elven folk that are here. Your mother just looks straight and just like, yes, Jajobi, we have heard of it. And we did send someone to retrieve the book. Apparently, after you attempted to gain its knowledge.
Yes, it took me forever and a day to be allowed to actually see it, and when I finally had the chance, this arose. I have been... I'm going to try to help to get this missing book back.
Perfect.
It seems that since this is the only book in existence that we know of with any hearsay of corruption magic, something that was never heard of before now, I think it's extremely important that this missing book is found. Who all has access to that library on Donadale?
There's only a few of us that have access. Perhaps he can introduce himself. And you see everyone kind of turn towards the entrance where you all walked in, and as you all kind of look over, you see this very, very elegant, beautiful male elf wearing very, very nice robes, familiar to a few of you, as he walks up with a shit-eating grin on his face. Well, you know,
No.
I really thought that our paths would cross sooner than this.
Rydell?
No,
Not Rydell.
Yes.
Roman?
Yes. Jadobi, how has it been? Warden,
As I look at him, I haven't seen him in forever. I'm just like,
Wait, Rowan?
Roman.
Who?
Yeah, Roman Dyer. You met him in episode 1.
Oh, yeah.
So, my queen. Yes, everything that Jadobi has said is true. Our men went to retrieve the book before he could find it. And we failed. We did find out, however, that there is a potential lead with his connection with Riha. And as he's saying this, he's looking at Tormund. Tormund, you've never seen this guy before. Well, at least not in this form. Roman is kind of a trickster. No one even knows really what he is, but his normal base form is an elf. He's really old, and he spends lots of his time doing spy kind of stuff. And he's looking at you specifically as he's talking about he. He keeps saying he, and looking at you. And then he looks over at Vicina. Is this why he is here? This one over here. Will he be able to lead us to him? He looks back over at Tormund.
Who are we talking about?
Roman goes to sit down at the table, and there's someone else there, and he just looks at them. And they get up, and Roman turns the chair and sits on it with the back frame front. You are a Tormund, right? Ancient, old traveler, part of
No.
an adventuring group called the Travelers. Is that correct?
No.
Da, it is.
And you almost defeated an archlich. Is this correct?
Again, da.
And he looks back over at Fasina. He may be of use, as if he's the only one that is left that did not die by the hands of Valruk. Then perhaps we have a chance of finding where that book is.
When he says that, there's a little bit of recognition of the fact that, like, in his heart, he knew that he was the sole survivor, but he had never had any confirmation. And that was a little bit of, like, the knife being pulled out.
Oh yeah.
But he, like, as soon as he recognizes that he is, like, showing it on his face, he goes stone cold again.
Okay. So, yes, I am done with my part. It's nice to see old friends and new faces. You'll have to introduce me later when we are not preoccupied. Fasina, please, go on. Thank you, Roman, for your always colorful display. Yes, Tormund, I was hoping to do this under less company, but yes, we have received word that Valruk has stolen the book that Jadobi was seeking. We don't know what the fuck he's going to do, to be honest. We don't know if he's trying to bring back something, to create something, to push back something. We don't know if he's working with Riha, but we do know that that book is dangerous, especially in his hands. And she also has agents looking for that book.
Question, DM.
Yes.
You said that it was said that Tormund helped kill that lich. Who stole the book?
Attempt to. So
Attempt.
Tormund was part of a group that was fighting him, and that lich banished poor Tormund somewhere.
I see.
He ended up in the Fey Ward.
Gotcha.
Is this book something we can control?
You actually might be able to. Some other creatures with powerful arcane. Sorry, yes, and Roman stops talking again. Because that was supposed to be Fasina, but Roman came out. Yes, thank you, Roman, for always talking in front of me. Yes, Tormund. There is a possibility that potentially you, Denahi, maybe even my dear Cerise, could potentially wield the magics of this book. Maybe even Saiyan or Jadobi or Leroy, but we do not know. The book has been put away for a very long time and no one was allowed to touch it. Fucking elves always think that they know best. Apologies.
I sit back down. I'm like, okay, all right.
Cerise is still thinking about Fasina calling her my dear Cerise.
You know, the temperament of elves is based on truth. They've been around longer than most of the other creatures on this earth, right? So they learn by their experience. And they still don't let go of that ego sometimes when it really matters. But we are in this situation, one way or another. I'm glad it happened on their watch and not mine. So, we have a lot to do. We have a lot to discuss. If these 7, if the 7 of you are interested in coming out of your retirement to assist us once again, we would be forever indebted to you. But I will not ask it of you. You all have gone above and beyond of anything imaginable that we can even conceive. So that choice is yours.
Okay, peace. Just kidding.
But we have several things in play. We need to go to the Thor to gain information. We need to find a way into the hells of Vasidius. We need to find Volrak and this book. And I really don't know how much time we have. But
Maybe if everything works well and according to a certain plan, perhaps there was no need to dive into the hills. Maybe we can just fix it on the outside and.
when that happens, Jadobi, I will buy you a drink. And I will hope that I am proven wrong, that we do not have to travel there. I really do.
Yeah, I'm feeling positive that we don't. I'm feeling like we could work this out together,
And
figure it out, and I feel
with-
like everything's gonna be fine.
with all of this optimism, I think, King Max, please go back to Tydean and continue your efforts there.
The second she says that, I nudge Denahi King Max is here.
I mean, he's...
I
So,
know.
King Max, Tormund, and everybody else who's watching, he's about a 16-foot tall Cerator, and a Cerator is essentially like an original Minotaur. Minotaurs are watered-down versions of Cerators, so never call him a Minotaur like Karaku did. And he's jet black, and he's currently the king of Ceros. Of course. Oh my god, I'm so... Jadobi, what's your mom's name? I'm so sorry.
Hello,
Halosa. Damn it. Halosa, please. Accompany him and continue your efforts as well. Keep the ties close with Donadel. We may need them in our darkest hour. And Ina, this bright star that we had not known was right underneath our noses. And she looks at everyone. Ina has agreed to take up the mantle of Duchess of Edak. She will be resuming command of her father and mother of the city and bringing it up to par. And I hear she has a very special advisor that she is bringing on as well. And then she looks at two other figures. One is a potentially Goliath, but maybe half Goliath, half human. He's just a really big human, wearing very, very nice armor. Siegfried, please go back to Hanta's Pass and Eastwatch. Make sure our city is safe and strong. And then he looks at this orc. She looks at this orc, and this orc looks very, very crotchety, very piratey. Jadobi, you recognize this orc. I lost his name. 1 second. Where did he go? Oh, I'm in the wrong thing. That's why I can't find him.
He's the leader of one of the beacon cities.
Kurdan is his name. Kurdan, I know you don't agree with anything that we do, and I know as long as your pocketbook is still full, you will abide by our code. Please continue to do so.
I'll whisper
don't
into
get-
Denahi's ear.
Go ahead.
I'll just be like, he's from the pirate city. This was one of the beacon cities.
You whispered that to me.
Yeah, I whisper to you.
Oh.
Just give you a little update here and there, because I'm sitting right by you.
and as she looks at him, you see Facina get a little brash, a little bit more than she normally does. And don't get in our fucking way.
Ooh.
And he actually kind of just a little bit, just all right, just hunkers down a little bit. Now, the rest of you, please go on about your day, your business. You all have your orders. You all have all the pieces of this puzzle. Please, go with the light. And everyone starts to get up and get out of there.
As I
So
stand
we're
up,
hanging back.
Jadobi's standing. He's getting ready to go. He's uncomfortable. He's always hated these big meetings.
Wouldn't be a day in the life of the Lightbringers without racing the clock, eh?
Well, I kind of said that just to get these little politicians off my ass. But no, I don't know how much time we have. I don't want us to dawdle, of course, which is why I summoned you all here. But let's be smart about this so nobody else dies, yeah?
Yes.
And hearing that comment, Sayan's smile actually fades ever so slightly. Those words almost kind of acted like a knife in him.
Dungeon Master, would I know where the location of Vurak's former lair was, or their lair was?
That's a great question, and I wasn't ready. It was in the Shadow Ward.
The Shadow Ward. Okay.
Of course it would be.
Let me pull it up real quick. But that was his other location. That there's a good chance that he's not there, but that's the only part that you.
That's where I would have fought him, though.
Yeah, you fought him in the Crimson Spire, which is a deep red tower on the far left side of the plain. Do you have a picture of the Shadow Ward, by the way, Logan?
Oh, that's a good question.
I can
In
send
the
you one.
Discord.
I think it's in Discord.
Yeah, if it's in
it's one of
Discord,
the most
then I should be
recent
able.
maps, I think. Or
I
whatever.
think you added a bunch of stuff. I'll pull up Discord. And
No,
check.
I'm gonna private message you. It's fine.
Dope. Well, it's been many years, but if we were to find Vurak, he would be in the Shadow Ward.
There again. Great.
Another ward.
I could be
Right.
wrong, though. I'm not sure. It's been, like I said, many years.
Can you
Oh,
tell
shit,
me?
hang on. Looks like we
I
disconnected.
think
Did
we're
the stream just go
offline.
down?
What the fuck?
Oh, are we back?
Pause.
Take a break.
I need more beer.
That was
Oh,
weird.
yeah, we're off.
We're back up, I think. Yeah, that was
Oh.
weird.
Damn it.
So circle back just a
It's like-
second. So what were you guys just saying?
If we are going to find Vurak, it would be in the Shadow Ward. I'm not 100% sure that they will be there, but we can see.
But by any chance, do you happen to remember what location you were in that ward?
If
Even
memory serves me, it would be a Crimson Spire.
Crimson Spire.
And you know where that is, Judoka.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jidobi does. Yeah.
Casino told me.
All right. Good to know. Yeah, we definitely need to try to get as much more information as we can about this Lich and his lair. Did you happen to ever catch any word of perhaps where his phylactery might be?
Dungeon Master, is that something I would know?
Nope. No one has ever been able to find it. He's essentially he's
Unfortunately,
essentially
no.
like the first Lich. If you want a comparison, he's Azaret.
He has done a good job of hiding his phylacteries.
Great. You know, I was kind of hoping that this meeting would bring good news. I'm kind of bummed.
I
Yeah.
always expect the worst.
Well, I don't, so I'm bummed.
Yeah. As long as
mean-
Riha's still with us, there's very little good news we can receive.
Did you think
Yes.
we're having a 1-year anniversary celebration?
We can
Yeah.
squeeze that in somewhere.
Yes, we can. Well, all right. I guess the next course of action is just to think where we should start first. Any ideas? I want to try to kind of avoid the city and the fire ward at the moment, but if I don't know.
Don't think any of us
Did-
are in a huge return there.
I'm not particularly eager to ever return to the fire ward.
But you did so
Still-
great there last time.
My wings almost burned off a second time. I wouldn't call it great.
The water ward wasn't very fun either.
I hated that place.
Have you guys had fun at all?
The turtle was nice.
And we all
the
start
turtle.
reminiscing about our different ward travels.
So, as you all are like sitting here and processing this and kind of talking amongst yourselves and talking with Facina and Roman, that's where we're actually going to take our break. So we're going to go ahead and start the mid-show video game raffle. Enter !raffle to join this video game raffle, and we will be right back in about 10 minutes or so. See you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.
welcome back. Congratulations on that first giveaway. We did start a second one, exclamation point raffle, to enter in the second giveaway. And as we settle back in, you all are around the table. Just got a big debrief from Facina. She's still there, along with your old friend Roman. What would you all like to do?
Sorry, I hate to break everything, but for a moment, if I could just encourage you all to take one drink to my good friend Max, who is the guitarist of my band. We just found out he has blood cancer, and I don't know how long he's got, so this is to him. Love you, Max. Okay, sorry to derail everything, man.
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, thank you, chat, by the way.
Roman, how
Seriously?
did you get into all of this?
Well, technically I've always been in this, but yeah.
Is that it? Is that all?
Yes, I also remember that I'm allergic to gluten, and I just consumed a bunch of it, so give me a second.
I'm sure a servant can point you to
This needs to be a
the
gift. It
necessary.
needs to be a gift. Giftable moment.
Well, all right.
Greater restoration.
Oh, that was fucking amazing.
Yeah, I really shouldn't eat that. Anyway, it was good. It was a really good sandwich. Well,
Oh dear.
it's been a long time, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
I went to a very dark place for a very long time. And your uncle, actually, got me out of that. And he's looking to you, Judobi, by the way.
I have a lot of uncles.
Do you? Do you? Really?
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of uncles that are red?
No. All right, I know who you're talking about now.
Because I'm blanking on his name. Nestro. Fuck.
He would be the one.
Yes. The teenie was actually one of the operatives that went to the gate and got past.
Wait. But he wasn't a part of the crew that went in and did not come out, yeah, right?
He was. But we have a strong belief that he is still alive. But the other tiefling that went with him, the one who actually exchanged the information with Facina, was caught exchanging information and was removed of life.
Wow. Didn't expect
Removed
that
of
one.
life.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're back and you're here to help. You were a great deal of help the last time we saw you.
Thanks. I thought I was too.
I'm going to.
He's a humble one.
I'm gonna look to Tormund. Oh, before I do that, Cerise, did you want to just? I feel
Oh.
like you were trying to say something.
Yeah, I had been about to address Facina. Facina,
Yes.
she sort of looks around. I think I speak for everyone when I say we'll do what needs to be done. I'm curious what you do if we did say we wanted to retire, though. Is there really anyone else you could call on?
We do have other resources, but I think the likelihood of them being successful is much, much less. But I have faith in all of you. While your first job was successful, and your duty to these people and to the land, there was a loose end that I feel like we all are obligated to remove. That being Riha, of course.
I won't lie, I kind of saw it coming when I saw her for the first time.
Yes.
It's
Well,
definitely written into our fates.
my first thought of action before we even move from one plane to the next is, Cerise, you have a really great ability to find out information through, I forget what it was that you called it. Something, it was a lure spell.
Legend lore.
So maybe we can try that. I do not know if this book is somehow protected against divination magics, but could be a great first step to make. Denahi, you have been training with your divination. Perhaps you can help as well. See if we can locate the possible whereabouts of this book, or maybe the possible whereabouts of this lich.
I can do my best.
Yeah,
there.
sounds like a good start.
Hmm.
Is there anything I can do?
Yes. This, you just being in a place of magic, anyone trying to succeed on anything spiritual or not, I found that just you being around helps us in some way. I'm not sure if it's an aura or it's just your presence encourages strength. But
Listen to the druid talking about good vibes.
it's what I do. What can I say?
Zane gives
Tormund.
kind of a half smile.
Tormund.
Duh.
How did you and your compatriots find this place in the Shadow Ward to find the switch? How did you get this information? Who told you? How did you receive it?
Dungeon Master.
I mean, it could be entirely up to you. I mean, you.
Oh, okay.
You
All right.
yeah,
Cool.
you
No, I got
obtained-
this.
you
All right.
Yeah, go for it.
We tracked her on them on the material plane for many years. They plagued us, me and the travelers, until one day we received word from a few of our contacts that there was a portal to the Shadow Ward that we could go through and find her. It was a trap. Them, sorry, not her.
So, who are these contacts?
They most of the time are nameless. They seem to reach out when we needed it the most. A couple of the party believed it was the gods. I believed that maybe it was just good fortune.
Is that so? Well, I would say in a certain predicament that we would need that information to maybe ask them questions. If you say that this was a trap, and I'm not saying that your contacts are to blame, however, you got this information from them, so I think it would come to everyone's attention that maybe we need to find these contacts and ask them our own questions.
No,
I think that is for the best.
It also
So
was
I
a
know
really
you
long
don't-
time ago, too, by the way.
This was
Yeah,
yes. This was
That's
about.
what I was-
Sorry.
So Reese, how long were we in the? I was in the Fey Ward for. Do you remember?
well, I was going to ask Festina because she seems like she'd have the best chance of knowing. I just know how long you've been with me.
My calculations, Tormund has been in the Fey Ward perhaps 150 years.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, the real question is, when did he leave the material plane?
But that's what I mean. It's been about
That's-
150 years from the material plane. Here is almost
The
endless.
material. The plane. Sorry. I had to finish it. I apologize.
It's very possible
I'm glad
the
someone
contacts
did.
are still around, given how long-lived most Ukodor folks are.
Yes, it depends. You can always try.
We can.
Would I remember what city I originally met contacts with that gave us that information?
That is a great question. You might.
So many great questions
It's been
tonight.
a long time.
Sorry, guys.
Guys, I prepared for the
Ward,
first
the-
half. I'm not ready for the second half.
The Fey Ward messed up my memory, guys. I have no idea what my backstory is.
Yeah, and you suddenly can't remember my material realm. Material.
One of the contacts that gave you some of the information kind of bounces around a lot. Where's his name? It is...
He's an informant for a lot of people, man.
He often appeared elvish. His name was Venri. But you've bumped into him in the city of Rennie. You've bumped into him in the city of Edak. But this was again a long time ago. And he travels a lot. So
this was kind of like a guy that traveled not necessarily with us, but like he would get there ahead of us or get there behind us, and like he would know all the stuff that was going down.
Like a guy.
And kind of yeah.
And he sells the snake oil.
What did you say what his name was again? I'm sorry.
Venri.
Venri.
Yeah.
A elf by the name of Venri. He was the one who would typically give us our contracts and missions and give us word of things that we're passing.
Venri. Well, that's a start. That's good to know.
You know, I have a funny idea.
Yes.
And she pulls out her cubic gate.
Oh dear.
You
You know that moment when a DM gives someone an item?
And you're just like, oh no, there's so
And they
many.
regret it, you mean?
150 points damage. I don't regret it.
Finish that statement.
And suddenly they can just summon anybody they want into existence.
Well,
Yes.
Maybe we should press that button.
I say we do it.
Press the shiny red candy-like button.
You pushing it?
Do it.
Do it.
I guess so. Well,
That's
if
a
you're
way to
all in
lose.
favor.
Okay.
So she presses the button for the material plane and says Venri and casts Gate. See if it summons him
Where
through.
are you at in the room right now?
It's a great question.
We're still by the
Well, I'm
tables.
like, that's true. Hey, Pacina, is this an okay place to cast Gate? Would you like us to go outside?
No, it's fine. Just don't point the thing at the table, please. Point him over there.
Okay. Yeah, I find like an empty space.
Okay.
Yep. Sort of near the door.
As you
Casting.
say Venri, a flash of energy opens up and this gate opens up and out flies. And it's not like walking through the gate, kind of like Unos did, but out flies this interesting looking character who looks kind of like a Firbolg, and slams on the ground hard, almost like he's wet, like he was in a bath or swimming or something. He's still clothed.
He's glistening.
Hello.
Who are you?
I'm
We're
sorry.
your worst
Have you just been
nightmare.
birthed?
As he's looking around frantically, he looks at Tormund, and he freaks out instantly, almost instinctually. He sees this dwarf. You're dead. And he freaks out, and you watch him just shrink about a foot, and he turns into an elf. Oh no. And he's trying to turn back, and he can't. He's like, come on.
Slow down. Slow down. little-
Dispel magic.
What are we witnessing here?
Don't know.
Hi.
Venri.
Oh, apologies for the abrupt and perhaps some might say rude manner of your summoning. But we need your help on a matter of great importance.
Yes. Do you go by the name of Venri?
Depends on who's
I feel we can be assured of that.
We're not the police.
So Venri, the first thing that you said when you arrived, besides your kind of crazed babble, was you looked at Tormund here and you were surprised that he was alive. And we actually brought you here to question you because you were one of the people that gave him that contract to go into a trap. We're not saying that it was you who set him up for that, but we thought it would be good to bring you here to ask you some questions.
So,
how are you feeling?
Real quick, just mechanics question. If someone has a racial ability to change what they look like, does dispel magic work on that?
Oh,
If it's not
Is it a magical effect?
It's a racial ability for Fearbolg, so I don't remember.
I would imagine
no,
that
I
does
don't
not.
I don't think it's magical.
No.
I think that's like a.
Okay.
Like for example, changelings can change their shape.
But, so
and it's not
he
magical.
still looks like the elf.
Gotcha.
But you see his skin start to turn a little red. Well, he would know, and he kind of points off to the distance, like past everybody.
I don't look.
Don't look! It's a trick.
I don't look. I stare at him.
So anybody who does
Since
look, Roman's just shaking his head, and you watch Venri disappear.
No,
Counterspell.
I cast True Seeing on myself.
Counterspell.
counterspell right now because I did not take my eyes off of
That's
him.
also a racial
Damn it.
ability.
I cast True Seeing on myself.
You cast what?
True Seeing.
Okay. You see him kind of standing behind one of the potted plants in the space.
Oh
like,
my god.
But he's invisible.
Where is he?
So I go right
Cerise.
up to him. I like go stand and I like put a hand on his shoulder. Please don't be scared, sir. You're in the Fey Ward, so don't do anything rash. It could be dangerous if you run away.
She called him sir.
Right.
I'm very polite.
You can't hear us. We're standing away from you.
So what are your questions?
Firstly, why are you all wet? Were you in the water ward? What is this? Were you on a ship? What's happening?
Well, thank you for that. Yes and no. I was on a ship, and was currently being dragged by a ship.
We'll be sure to put you back after we're all done. Don't worry about it.
No.
Unless you answer all of our questions.
I'm answering questions.
Sensing that Janobi's being the good cop here, Saiyan is going to go ahead and just cross his arms with all 7 feet of himself and just give him the most intimidating look possible, just being the silent bad cop.
I often forget that he's a dragonborn, so it's like, that's got to be a hell of a look.
Isn't that a dragon's face all the time?
Well, Saiyan's normally all
yeah.
smiles. He's normally all smiles,
resting
but the
dragon
smile
face.
is definitely not there right now.
Sorry, I have resting dragon face.
Okay.
Yes.
Go.
What was your original form? Why did you change form like that?
Because I'm uncomfortable. And I
You're
saw him,
uncomfortable?
and I turned into the thing that I last saw him in. I didn't want to, and I was trying to turn back, and I couldn't.
It's crazy that you remember that far because it's been such a long time.
It's been a really long time, but I
Last
still I
thing
see.
you saw him in?
It's him.
He's a shapeshifter.
Kind of. And he turns back to his Fearbold self and his big old floppy ears, and he looks very much like Giselle, just a bigger version, a little bit more. He's not
Dopey?
not so refined. Yes, dopey is a good example. Yes, it's been a long time since I've seen him, but the last time I saw him, his friends were on the ground dead, and then he vanished, and I see that all the time. All the time I see that. So, yes.
You're haunted by people disappearing.
I'm haunted by the shit they had me do, and then things happened, and I didn't like it, and
What things happened?
Would I have known that he came with us? Or did he sneak behind us?
he was following you. Oh, god damn it. Hold on, guys. see, my magic was pretty good, and that's how I killed the lich. Oh, just kidding, we're back. So where do we leave?
Are you in the middle of a teleportation spell? No.
I think I was asking if there were any red flags that were being set off by
as he
him
was-
saying,
Yeah.
saying that he was there.
As he was saying that, you realize that he was following you all and staying invisible.
You were there.
That's not my accent. Jesus.
Yes, yeah.
You were there.
Yes, I was there. I didn't want to be there, and I was trying to help. But Vurak, he made me do it. He made me do it. I didn't want to. Like he had control of my mind. But then once you all got there, I was trying to go, and then I saw you all there, and then when you were there, I was trying to help, but I couldn't. I saw one, and then two, and then three people fall, and there's only a couple of you left, and then you disappeared, and then I just hid.
You're
GM,
so
am I
brave.
getting what kind of? So I clearly know this guy is like kind of freaking out, but am I getting any kind of like, how do I ask this question?
Do I think he's lying?
You can roll an insight check if you want.
I'm wondering if
What is going on? Is this a Twitch thing? And that's how I defeated Riha.
All right, hold
All
on.
right,
New jokes. are
campaign's
named.
over, guys. Let's go home.
Yeah, and
And
Sayan's
so
gonna
I
detect
says to the
bullshit.
Monsignor, careful, that's my anus you're touching.
Oh,
Oh,
so Jadobi, what were you saying?
what a great thing to come live to.
Right.
I'm wondering if this man is challenged in any way, because the way he's talking seems kind of broken, and his like kind of train of thought is not collective.
You know, legally, I cannot answer this question. No, he is just really, really anxious and nervous and scared.
We just teleported him to someone who thought
Yeah.
he was dead, and
He was being,
or I
he was legitimately being dragged in the ocean, trying to be eaten by sharks by a boat, and he's just not having a good life right now.
Okay.
Ooh,
Okay, I have a
remember that painting.
17 insight.
Yeah, everything he's saying is telling the truth.
Ooh, that's a good painting too. It really is.
Tormund, what do you have for him? What questions do you have?
Talk. That's awesome. God damn. I can't say your name in a Russian accent. Jesus. It's so hard. Talk. I can't do it. I can't do it.
You have to
Torque,
roll the
just-
R.
Torque. Torque. Torque.
You're looking for a hard
There we go.
consonant in Russian.
There we go. Torque.
Torque,
Can you?
how are you?
Can you
What
punch
is
him for
your
me?
name, sir?
Torque. Can you punch him for me?
Punch me. What?
Punch him.
Yes.
What? Yes,
Duh.
of course.
Wait,
that might kill him.
What?
Wait.
He's already
Please,
wincing.
Wait,
Don't
we need
worry.
answers first. Kill
Okay,
him.
halfway.
And then I
There is
will.
no
So
violence.
when
He's
Torque
going to
goes, when Torque goes like that, and I watch him flinch, I'll walk up and I will grab him by the scruff of his shirt
Okay.
and lift him in the air with all of my strength.
Okay.
How is but you're, how tall, what is
He's
the
a
height
dwarf, dude. He's
I'm a dwarf with 20 strength. I can if I wanted to
from the
to-
collar?
Yeah, it's awkward. He's like Lex Luthor picking up Yokozuna, so it's just kind of a weird thing, right? He's like, and he's just kind of going with it. And as you pick him up, he shrinks into like a dwarf size. Okay.
You tell us all you know. And when we are done, you answer to me. Understand? Talk to her. I will point to Cerise.
I will talk to her. Yes.
So tell us,
I-
what did you see while you were hiding after you saw him disappear and everybody else fall?
Well, let's see. All the people died, and then there was screaming, and then there was, what's his face? Volrak, was starting to do something else, and then he kind of just vanished. He just disappeared.
And how did you know to lead them there?
He told me to.
Hmm.
How does he contact you?
He doesn't contact me. Once he let go, and I did what he said, he let me go. And then I took all the gold that I have ever received, and I have this. And then he has this little like a little crown thing. He kind of picks up his ears and his scraggy hair, and he has like a little circlet. He can't get in there anymore.
Interesting. How did he get in there the first time? Did you go somewhere you weren't supposed to?
I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know.
I take jobs. I get information and I pass information. That's what people pay me for. And I go into a place and I look like you. And then when he swings down, he looks like a little Cerise or two. And then I can go in there and I talk like this, and I can talk differently and be like, hey, look at me, I'm a little fairy girl. And then he changes into like a dragonborn. He's like, well, I could be a dragonborn, yeah. And he's like, he just starts like panicking, shifting, and he starts shifting into different forms and is changing his voice. But, you know.
I think you turned into a dragon bro.
Well,
Saiyan full on glares at him when he turns into a dragonborn.
and he's trying to mimic you too, so it's like really terrible. Well, and then I went to the fire ward because someone needed some information at the fire ward, and then I was in the tavern. It was fire and ale, and it was a really weird tavern, and I was in there, and I was just drinking, minding my own business. I wasn't even looking for work. And then I sit there, and I was doing all what I have to do, and I was doing all my thing, and then this weird guy came up, this weird cat, and he was actually like a cat. It was weird. He had like orange stripes.
His name is Rujek.
What?
Backwards fingers.
We met him once.
He's
Go on.
He's the one who told me to talk to Volrak. He's the one who gave me the first job. And then he had me find the travelers.
Interesting.
That cat.
Very, very interesting.
I don't want to meet him again. He seems...
I don't want to meet him again ever.
You don't want to meet him again, Cerise. You were all about him the first time we met.
He was... What? I mean...
And about that moment, he turns into Rujek.
creepy.
But he was also very charming, yes?
It was uncomfortable.
Turn back.
Okay.
Turn back.
He turns back, but only like half back, so like the bottom half is still tiger. Oh, sorry, that's awkward. And he finishes.
I'll
Sorry,
turn to
out of
Tormund
context.
and I'll say,
Exactly.
Tormund, mental manipulation is very hard to gauge in circumstances like this. He may be innocent of what happened. As hard as that may be to register. Not saying that he's off the hook, but
Rujek
Definitely not off the hook.
Rujek
It
is
is
an
noted.
ancient Rakshasa. He... Well, to be fair, we haven't seen his abilities, but just by that alone, we can only assume he's incredibly powerful.
Yes, I kind of, when he was talking to me, I kind of peered into his mind a little bit, and that was scary. It was a scary place.
What did you see?
I think he was created in the first age.
well, that's nice.
And I think he's died a bunch of times.
So he's been in the
Wow.
hell and back several times.
Yeah.
Oh, great. We have another Viktor.
Exhausting.
Victor.
Sounds
mean-
like he rolls a lot of 20s.
Do you know? He asked us. He offered to show us the city in return for an open favor. He didn't like Victor,
No. He doesn't like Victor. No.
And he said he interfered with business. Do you know what his business is?
Well, it's a great question. His business is that of his. He spoke much about dealings in the shadows. And this is you're speaking of Viktor Keiran, correct? Wait a second! Wait a second! Are you the Lightbringers?
Hi, yes, that's
The one and only.
I guess.
I've heard so much about you. It's been so long since I've been able to meet it. Oh, sorry. and then heroic adventuring party.
interesting.
Wait, what?
Awkward.
VIP parking? What?
Awkward turtle, awkward baby turtles.
That was it was like when I first met you. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Well, okay. So yes, Rujak, he does a lot of interdealings. Oh God, I'm going to die.
Interdealings?
He's going to kill me. He's going to legitimately kill me, and then when I go to hell, he's going to kill me again until I am dead 1,000 times. Oh.
Sorry, I gotta mute again.
So, Rujak is playing both sides. Oh shit. Oh shit.
Why are you panicking? What's wrong? What do you see something? What's
There
wrong?
is a long-standing war between the demons and the devils, and Rujak
Right.
is playing both sides. He is.
He's dealing with demons and devils.
He is. Oh shit, snacks.
How interesting.
Oh.
I mean, you've already opened the bag. Might as well finish. Come on.
If
We
she-
need
if-
information.
You're in the Fey Ward right now.
If she would find
Tell
out.
us everything.
Oh, if she would find out, she would make him her
She?
slave forever. Holy
Will you
shit.
stop rambling and get to the point?
Which she?
Who is she?
Lady Oriana. Ooh. Ay, ay, ay,
Does that name mean anything?
Oh, yeah, it would. Jadobi, you probably would have got a little bit of information about her, and Cerise, you would probably know a little bit. Lady Oriana is the queen of the hells of the city of Dothor. Jesus.
Dothor.
Dothor. Yes, the city
Is that
of
the-
the Fire Ward. Yes.
Okay.
She's
I'm
essentially.
just gonna say you should probably maybe make up cities that aren't hard to say.
It's really easy. It's Dothor. It's really easy to say,
Dothor.
but when I'm thinking something else and I try to say that, it just comes out. Because I was looking at Orax, and Orax is who Jadobi talked to find out about Dothor. Anyway, and it's
Dothor.
It's Duthor, by the way. I keep saying
Duthor.
It's a U, not a O. I typed it.
It's
wrong.
Duthor.
Duthor. Anyway.
Oh wait, I'm
Lady
wearing a Thor
Oriana.
shirt even. Oh,
I have
Dothor's
Lady
better.
Oriana.
So, Lady Oriana is a devil, and she's the queen of the devils. She sits atop the fire keep in Duthor. And she's the
that's
one
a bad bitch.
who's commanding the armies, and there's a battle front in the Hells, and there's also a battle front in the Abyssal Plain.
And how does she relate to the king that we killed?
Which
Or does she?
the Fire Ward?
In the Fire Ward. Because he was
Uh,
the king.
A self-proclaimed king. Yes, he was.
Sure.
He was a king of the Fire Giants, not of the Fire
Right.
Ward.
Right, okay.
Essentially, kind of a pawn of hers, but yeah, he was trying to leave because he didn't want to do what she wanted to do, kind of thing.
Let's see. Well, this is all good information to have.
Yes, it's great.
It's looking
information.
like we are.
Someone.
Looks like we are trying to go
I
back there,
smell
though.
ale. Who has ale? Someone have ale? Please, can I have
None
it?
Here,
for you.
take,
Well,
take
he
this
does.
for a moment. Take this for a moment, and I will hand him my never-ending jug of
He just
Dunehark ale. And while he's doing that, I'd like to pull Cerise aside. I have a feeling if we take off and I will point to my head, like the
Yeah,
head,
I get it. Yeah.
we may be able to find the Lich.
Thank you.
It's possible.
I do not want to do it as much as I would like,
We
but
should. I
it
don't.
may be our only option.
Let's not do it while we're here in the
Agreed.
Fey Ward.
Whew. Ah,
Agreed.
That's good.
I feel sort of evil to do that, but
Do what? What's up?
Hmm?
His big old ear perks up. What's going on? Oh.
Are you done?
Well-
What do you want to do?
Nothing for the moment.
Okay.
Like I said, my retribution is still at hand.
And he hands back the ale.
Put it
Oh,
back in
for
my-
God's sake, will we just get the information out of this shithead and let's go? Hello.
You know what? I'm gonna cast. I have an idea. And I will cast Mordenkainen's magical mansion thing that I have.
Ooh.
And please come into my abode.
And I will open the door and step into my magnificent mansion.
He's looking very. He like starts to dip his foot in, and Roman just pushes him in there. Let's get this over with already. Vicina laughs and goes back up towards the other upper area of the hall to finish her business.
I stand out on the outside of the door, just like looking at everyone, like,
What just happened?
should
I'm very confused.
Saying I need a bad cop.
Oh,
Okay.
What?
Does the is this door like a portal?
Yeah, so I pull out some stuff, and basically this magical doorway appears in the center of the chamber. When you open it, looking inside, you see a beautiful dwarven, essentially, what's it called? Why can't I think of the word? Entryway, hallway.
foyer.
Foyer. Thank you. That was the word I was thinking of. Foyer. That is just immaculate in terms of stonework, stone that is marbled with gold and silver and other marble-like material. As you walk in, lanterns and torches are kind of magically lit on either side. That's as much as you guys can see through the doorway, but stepping on in, it gets much, much, much bigger.
What does stepping through the portal feel like?
You are essentially going into a pocket plane.
So
I
it
don't know
feels
if
like
that-
going through a portal.
You're going through a portal. I don't know necessarily if it has a portal-like feel or.
Yanking out your belly button.
Yeah.
Ew,
Cool.
God.
Oh,
I'm not going.
I just felt that. God, don't do that to me. I've literally just
That's
felt
what
that
it felt
happen.
like to me.
I must warn you, if I'm
I
going
almost lost my
through
lunch.
if I'm going through a portal, you may want to distract him for a moment, because I may not be able to hold bad cop for a few minutes.
That is all right. I don't need long.
Sometimes I wish my passive perception wasn't so high. Okay.
Nope, you're coming with us, and Saiyan pulls him through the door with him.
By the way, did he drop invisibility? We never technically asked.
He did. He was trying to cast something else, and he dropped invisibility.
I will follow everyone into this this portal.
Okay. Cerise waves at. She casts a message to Vicina. We'll be back soon, I think. This is escalating very quickly. But Vicina's distracted, talking to her other business. So Cerise
Sorry.
just quietly.
Yeah, so what did you say? Sorry.
She said, we'll be back soon, I think. Things have escalated quickly.
Of course they have. They always do. Be safe, Cerise.
You too, Vicina.
Go with the light.
Love you.
You as well.
Love you.
Okay.
I am
And she-
now in this mansion
Okay.
and just following them, dragging this guy in.
So, upon going through the portal, Saiyan had grabbed him, throws him in front of him, and then immediately turns around the other way so that his back is facing him, and he is trying really hard to hold back a face like he is about to upchuck.
I just look at him. I'm just like, I suddenly go like, "You got this."
Be cool, be cool, be cool, be cool.
Just a minute.
Roman comes up.
Just swallow it.
Oh,
Right.
hey,
Take a deep
Dragon
breath.
boy, we haven't been properly introduced. My name is Roman, and he smacks you right in the gut.
Roman.
You know,
really?
and then Cerise comes up and she's like, "We haven't been properly introduced either, but I've heard lots of stories."
Oh,
I'm trying to aim like Saiyan right, so if he were to vomit, it would be on Roman. Slowly.
I'm looking backward like what a bunch of amateurs.
and right as Satan's about to chuck, he grabs your hand to introduce you, and he dimension doors to like a balcony. So one time we'll have
He dimension doors into a balcony?
No, Cerise and him get out of the way.
Okay.
So whoever's next to them gets chucked on.
Okay.
I'm just like, "Whoa."
No,
Okay.
hang on a second. Let me see here real quick.
Oh no!
Oh no, he freaking upchucks.
I didn't want you to get hit with the upchuck from your friend. It's very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you too. Very considerate.
Just hear him hacking in the background.
His upchuck complete. He stands back up again and goes back to his held character of, stoic and serious.
I think I'm more
Pretending like
terrified
nothing
of
just
you.
happened.
I'm definitely more terrified of you now. You're just vomiting for no reason. Okay, so what's going on?
Sorry, Tormund. We'll clean that up
Yeah.
later.
Oh, it is okay. And I snap my finger, and a like kind of ghostly form kind of comes over and like mops it up, and then leaves.
The servants will take care of it. There are plenty.
That's very nice. Can I stay here? This is very nice.
You can.
Okay.
Only if you answer this question for me.
Sure.
What do you have to tell me now?
And I will take off. I will like grab the crown off his head and take it off.
Oh shit.
That is a bold move.
Okay.
You can stay here until the end of time, or until tomorrow morning.
Whichever one comes first.
Yes,
Okay.
we need to know the truth. Can they reach you?
Clearly our timeline.
Can what? What was the question?
Can Vurok reach you here?
I don't really know about the pocket dimensions and such. If that thing is not on me, if he wanted to, he could, and he could see all of you doing whatever you're doing, and I'm not able to even stop him from doing that. So I think whatever you're going to do it quickly.
That is fine. Come, see my home. This Vurok will not glean much inside of here other than what it is. I can change it tomorrow.
Okay.
Torque, for you, go down to the basement. There is a nice training facility there. I also have 2 casks of ale.
Yes!
Essentially, out of game, I'm trying to get an 8-hour period where we can rest, recuperate,
Okay.
and figure out if he's gonna get taken over or mind controlled by Volrak, while letting everybody enjoy the lavishness of my home.
Now
Okay.
here's a question. Have you been staying in this home most of the time you're in the Fae?
Oh no, this is like a side project.
Like, were you like staying with my
Very-
family? Like, have I seen this though?
Yeah, you would have came in. You would have had it. So we haven't actually got a whole lot of. We didn't actually talk about this a whole lot, but
Sure.
so
Mhm.
you would have seen this. You would have had your. I would have built a whole wing of. Essentially, imagine the mines of Moria
Mhm.
if they were actually, if they actually were built properly.
And they
So
were
you would have
so
had a
much
whole.
house.
You would have had a whole wing essentially to
I
yourself,
read that story.
devoted
They
to
all
whatever
died,
you would
though.
like.
This is like all the death people. All the people died. Here?
Welcome to the mines of Moria.
Yeah, you essentially have a certain portion of a dwarven hall to yourself
Oh.
Nice.
within this whole pocket dimension.
I like this.
within realizing that Torque was in there, he built a basement that had a training pit and an ale house.
Oh.
Cool.
Because I can kind of do that at will.
I'm beginning to like this
Alright.
association.
If there is anything any of you need, let me know. I will have it prepared for you.
Okay. Oh.
Well, thank
Do you have a large bath?
It is done. He thinks, third floor, fourth hallway. It is yours.
And
Jadot-
I reach into my bag, and Denahi's old trade before all of this was trading furs, hunting and trading furs. So she pulls out a really lush, like dark black with like kind of a light gray undercoat of like a what do you call it? Dire wolf's hide, and it's a big cowl, and I gift it to him, to Tormund. My thanks.
He just bows very deeply.
And I am going to Misty Step into the fucking bathtub, bitch. Bye.
It's like an Olympic swimming pool size bathtub.
Turn on the jacuzzi jets.
Jadot-
And a
Jadot
little
kind of-
ghosty guy brings me a bottle of wine.
Oh yeah, like little ghosty dudes can do whatever you need. Yeah, it's
Awesome.
Yeah.
Chilling.
Jadobi's gonna stand there silently in this corridor and just kind of like looking over this really lavish place,
Or Luigi
completely unimpressed. And he's just going to look to Cerise. Cerise, I'm gonna go buy a couple of things for divination and maybe your legend lore. What can I get for you?
Oh, let's see. I probably have some incense stockpiled, but if you could find some ivory chips.
Will do. How much do you need? How much worth?
Let me double check.
It's fun. Funny, this just in. All ivory is extinct. That's weird. No, I'm kidding.
Well, maybe I should wish for it.
Oh god, don't waste your wish spell on that. Jeez.
On ivory chips.
Let's see what happens.
Well, no problem. I'll go and I'll find your ivory for you. I'll see you
Thank
guys
you.
soon. And I'll walk out and I'll go and
Sure.
get some things to prepare for our divination kind of information
Sweet.
giving.
Yeah.
Be safe, Jadobi.
Tormund, now are we keeping this off all the time so he can get me? Are you trying to make me bait, or are you trying to do something with my mind?
I am trying to see if Woodrock will take your mind and maybe give you information as to where they are. As soon, and I will be with you the entire time, I swear it. I swear it on the life of my former companions.
Do you want him to get into his mind, or are you trying to avoid it?
I don't
Duh.
know.
That does not answer my question.
He's
I
trying to
would-
get it into his mind.
I see. Then I should probably not be in close proximity.
There is many holes to the gods above. You will find one that suits you, I'm sure.
Tormund, do you want me to stay with you? I was thinking to see if Denahi wouldn't mind sharing that bath that you just made. It sounds
No,
really
this is a study that I must do alone. If Woolrock can see through the ice, Woolrock should only see me.
Very
Go.
well.
Enjoy yourself while we are here.
Oh, I don't like this.
We
I
have
don't like this.
I'll
about
be a short call away.
23 hours left until we need to leave.
Oh, can I have that ale again, please? Please, please, please.
I hand him the bottle of
Oh,
ale,
thank you.
and I proceed to whatever his wish is, I manifest it within the magnificent mansion. Like I essentially am like making him the most comfortable person in the world, like going out of my way to make sure that he is comfortable, happy, whether it's food, ale, whatever, all the while kind of watching for any signs of
Okay.
taking over.
DM.
Player.
This is a unconventional way to do this, but I want to try and see if Saiyan can do something.
Okay.
Stan would like to command our little friend to calm.
Oh. Okay, can you read that to me real quick?
So, I speak a one-word command, and he makes a wisdom save. If he fails, he does what I ask.
Roll the 1.
So he definitely fails. So, upon my command, he would have this supernatural urge to just calm the F down.
Okay.
And with that, Saiyan walks away.
Everything's
And I think, for the record, anything Saiyan would have wanted to do can be manifested here. So.
okay. Everything's okay.
Hey, Denaki. Knock, 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 knock.
It's funny.
Oh, it's a dwarven hall, so it's super
Everything's
open floor
okay.
plan. Not a lot of doors.
Even the bath.
Yes, everything.
Everything's okay.
She knocks on a pillar. Mind if I join you?
Oh, hey! And I'm like, I've got like a shitload of food in front of me and like wine and shit.
I just imagine
And then a little-
Nahi just like eating snacks and her tail's holding a drink and just pouring in her mouth.
Pretty much. And I like, a little ghosty comes with like a little plaque and like gives you a glass of wine.
Nice. It's
Come on
been-
in.
Sweets comes in, just like gets a little towel and like jumps in. It has been so long since I've seen you. It's so good. It's so good to see you again.
I know, I've missed your presence. As glowing as ever. I can
I'd
tell
say
you're
welcome-
much happier.
I know, it's kind of like living in a dream. Although
Yeah, I'm sure.
I still haven't I haven't really told my parents sort of the whole thing with Tallulah and like I don't know, I mean, right? It felt like there was something starting and then of course
I don't know. Never felt like that about anyone before. But I've read about it. I'm sure it's troubling.
Okay.
I can tell that she really cared for you too. That much I knew.
I can tell by trying to read emotions on people.
thanks. It's just
I
sort of
think we all felt her loss.
yeah. And of course, you all knew her much longer than I did. It all happened so fast. It's just like, she just sort of opened my mind to the possibility of like, you could marry a girl. I mean, that's kind of crazy, right? But it's not really. I'm not almost
Why
not
is that
sad.
crazy?
Oh, hi, Torg. When did you walk in?
Sorry.
No, you're here now. You've joined the scene.
Come on in.
What's happening?
It's not done.
Why are
in
you
your
not
team.
marrying the people you love? I don't understand. I'm confused.
Well, I don't know. It was all very complicated when, like, my race was on the verge of extinction, and my grandma was like, "You need to marry a boy," and she just kept introducing me to the two boys who were vaguely my age, and it was just very uncomfortable. And now it's not as much of a problem, but it's also just I haven't had that conversation of like, hey, maybe I could do something different, because what if they're disappointed and we just found each other again after 90 years? I'm still kind of a kid in their eyes. But also I'm like sort of on a bunch of important council meetings. It's really weird. It's really weird for everybody.
Well, take it from me. A new life and a new family that you never had before suddenly makes sense.
And I think if she loves you enough, she'd understand. And she does love you. I think she's happy that everyone's alive in this situation right now. I don't think she cares about anything else.
Now, if you don't mind moving, there's a barrel of ale behind you.
Oh, sorry.
I'll just take that. All right.
Just
Bye.
bobbing in the pool.
Tormund, what does this hall that you directed Saiyan look like?
So one of the levels of the hall would have been devoted to the gods. Whether it, I mean, it you can kind of think about it, and eventually you'll get there, and it'll look that way. But on either side, kind of going down, it's one hall, and on either side there's little alcoves and that are that are symmetrical to each other, and on each section there's a different god.
Mm-hmm. So
you would
Saiyan
have found, I don't know which one yours was, but
So Saiyan worships Athora. So that would be. Is there a place for her here?
yeah, Athora is one of the prime deities, correct?
No,
So,
she's an ancient golden dragon. So
would
she's
Tormund
technically-
have no?
Yeah, she's technically
Would
not.
Tormund have no?
Roll a history check. Actually, that's a good question. A lot of good questions.
History?
Yeah.
Well, that's plus 13, so a 29.
A 45. Yes, you've heard of Athora. She's an ancient
Okay.
golden dragon. You may not have had any dealings with her specifically, but you are aware of her.
Okay. And would I know that she is considered a deity to some?
Yes, there are people who worship
Okay.
her. Yes.
Okay, then I would have definitely had a spot. Basically, any deity or demigod or potential, what's the word I'm thinking of, prophet,
Mm-hmm.
has a place here in an attempt to try to make everybody feel comfortable and welcome.
Even the evil ones, or just the good ones?
No, fuck the evil ones.
You see a big painting of Wolrock out there.
There's a big statue of Volrock, a couple of the other ones, yeah.
So Saiyan makes his way down this hall, finds the section that's dedicated to Athora, and hesitates for a moment, and lets down he was holding himself up, in his usual proud stance earlier, but he's now kind of, without the gaze of everyone else upon him, has slumped slightly. He starts gathering materials and puts together a bowl, pours some holy water in it, lights some incense, and gets ready to start to try to commune, but before he commits to it, hesitates again and looks up. And he douses the incense, gets up, and walks away. And looks for somewhere where he can rest.
Like the bathtub?
Join us. In our famous.
Does he
realms
actually know?
of-
Does he actually know where you are? Because I think he walked out before you went to the bathtub.
I thought she got her directions first.
You do now when you saw Tort come.
Look, you just walk in.
Stop.
You just join the conversation and you're
He
He
there.
just somehow accidentally walks in. Whoa! What?
You do have an earpiece, by the way.
Oh, that's right.
Are we okay? Yeah.
Oh, that little bit.
It's only been a week, guys.
All
It
the
hasn't
ale
been 10
from
months.
that.
Okay, so while y'all are doing this, and Tormund is just staring relentlessly at Venri,
The
Joe,
thousand-
are you just shopping around? Are you doing anything specific, or
Not doing anything specific. I'm literally just going to buy 50 gold piece. Ugh, why that came out wrong?
Yeah.
Weird. I'm gonna go find 50 gold piece worth of ivory sticks, and I'm gonna find 25 gold pieces
Sure.
worth for an offering.
go ahead and do an investigation check for me?
All right. Ooh, not bad. Well, and guidance. Duh, I almost forgot guidance. Hey, DM, can you roll a d4 for me?
4.
Or anyone? I'll take it from anyone.
4.
4? Awesome. So that's going to be investigation
Doesn't have a D4.
plus 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. I know I'm horrible. 17 total.
17 total. Easy enough. So you can take some time. It doesn't take you too long, maybe 30, 45 minutes to go to you know exactly where to go. You've been here a bunch of times to get all the items you need to get for the normal price of whatever they charge. So you can go ahead and add whatever you want to add to your inventory. Anything else you want to do while you're out, or you're just doing that and coming back?
Just doing that and coming back.
Tormund, you're literally just gonna stare at this dude for 23 hours? Is that the plan?
That's not creepy in the least bit.
Are you muted?
Muted, thank you. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of pity. And so part of it will be him kind of, immediately after taking off the headpiece that he was wearing. There's a bit of I hope that Vorok comes and takes his mind. And a little bit of that sourness to him. But over time there is pity and comfort. He's trying to do his best in what he thinks is right.
Okay.
To pull Vorok to the front while trying to make sure that this person that was manipulated and taken advantage of is also comforted and taken care of.
Okay. So several hours go by. You all get, raisin toes. Finish with your bath. Eat dinner. Is there anything you all are doing before you go to sleep?
Yes. I'm going to go to Cerise. I'm gonna find her room wherever she may be.
Training.
In my wing.
In your wing, your entire wing. Cerise! Hey,
we have the ear cup still. Wait, just...
He just does it anyway.
I just do it anyway. Why not? It's fun.
I'm right. And then she comes down from the bath. She's like, actually, I was 2 stories up there. Hey, what's up?
Hey, so I got your ivory, and I got the item that I need for divination. A couple of questions that I had in mind that maybe we could look for would be 1, where is the book located? 2, who stole the book, just in case it was not Vorok. Maybe it was an underling or something that would be easier to reach. Maybe, I don't know. A third question that I had was, this may be too easy and way out of my league, but I would ask where the lich is located who stole the book. Those are questions that I have. I know for your legend magic, it's less than that. I think you just need to
I just have to say the name of name or place or event that has legendary importance, and the more information I know about it, the more information I can get.
Mm-hmm. So I was thinking, maybe you know of something better. I was thinking of maybe how many times with one cast of that, how many things can you...
It's one thing for casting.
I see. Well, I was thinking either maybe the spire that Tormund's friends died, yes, or maybe the book itself, but yeah. I feel like I don't know which one is more importance for only one.
I would say the book, because the Crimson Spire might be relevant, but the book is our goal.
Okay.
I mean, unless we want to say the Lich's name himself, certainly he's of legendary importance.
Perhaps. I could definitely try that, just because... But there are some things that protect people from...
Divination magic.
This kind of thing, but it's definitely worth a shot.
It's true. I mean, Victor wasn't protected. We got a lot of information about Victor.
True. Very true. Are you up for it tonight before bed?
Yeah, of course.
I think we should call Saiyan just to be around. He gives
He just
kind
gives
of
us good vibes, right?
he does. I feel like he makes my magic more potent at times. I don't know. It's weird. What do you think? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. Hey, Saiyan, are you still awake? She says through her ear cuff.
What? Sorry, I forgot we had these. Yes? What?
Wow, you've been wearing it all this time without remembering?
Apparently.
Yes,
I
there's
guess
been
I
some
just-
awkward moments.
I've gotten so used to it.
We're gonna cast some divination magic tonight. We were wondering if you would care, we being Jadobi and I, would you care to join us? Although I think this goes to everyone, right? Or does it go to just one person? What is this channel working?
It goes to everybody.
To walk you
Okay.
And
If
technically,
anyone else wants to come too.
and technically, Cerise, you do have an extra one, but that could be dealt with later.
True. I don't know if I was carrying it. So, but yeah.
I just made it. I just
Read
made it
it.
canon. So
Oh, okay. So I had it. Got it.
Through the power of DM magic.
I mean, maybe I already
I-
gave it to Tormund then, because we've been alone on this plane together. If I had it this whole time.
As she's giving the call out to the squad, I'm gonna be setting up my circle because I'm gonna try to do my thing first. Because I know the more information that we get, her legend lore is more powerful. So I'm gonna do mine first.
Okay.
So I'm just
Yes.
setting up everything.
Sure, I can join, yes.
and make sure you're being very specific, and make sure you're writing this down, or remember what time the stream was, because I'm not writing this down, so it's coming from my head.
Alright.
Okay.
Hang on,
have
for canon,
been
do I have
forewarned.
an earring or no?
No,
Did
that
have one of
I
those?
think
technically,
No,
I was
you
actually
do
saying
not.
I think
Okay.
At the
Just
time,
double check.
I think daylight
If I'd had
time will
it-
be.
if I'd had it this whole time, I may have given it to Tormund because nobody else was using it. Because we can't communicate across planes that way, so I might have been using it as a convenience while we were.
That's true. So yeah, Tormund, I would say yeah.
I think.
And is there like a walkie-talkie where like
So
if I
it's-
can hear
it's-
them talking?
Yeah,
No,
or-
you
so-
basically press
Yeah.
the cuff behind your ear. You press the cuff, and then when you press it, you can speak to us.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just a little magical like ear cuff that goes behind your ear, and it changes its color to fit whatever your skin is, and it actually like attaches to your skin so it doesn't come off.
That's
and
pretty.
You can't even
that's
see
pretty
it,
Dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
and it goes off the reverberations of your throat. So when you speak, so you can hear it and you can say something. So even if you whisper, everyone else hears it in like normal volume.
Very clearly.
It's Navy SEAL shit.
So after that,
Ukodor and Seal.
I'm gonna kind of turn to Cerise because it's just us two in the room right now.
Mhm.
Cerise, have you noticed something different about Saiyan?
He
He's
did
not-
seem less chipper.
Yeah, he's less bubbly. I mean, I know like time can change you, but I feel like I don't know. There's something there that he hasn't spoken of. Did you see him try to be the bad cop back there? I mean, it was
Oh.
it was pretty legit, but I mean, he would never do that in.
I know, it was a different side. It was kind of spicy.
The spicy paladin, oh my god.
Ooh, it's so spicy!
It rose up anyway.
And
I
Cerise,
think you, and then Saiyan walks in right about then.
Oh my god.
Oh wait, was this the
Hi,
one?
I'm back, ladies and gentlemen.
all right. Well, glad that you can make it. I'm gonna stop myself there, and I'm gonna take a seat. Saiyan, actually, could you sit directly behind me? Like we can be back to back on this.
Oh,
Sure.
want
Thank
to
you.
feel your heartbeat. Sorry.
Oh, don't make it weird, DM.
No, that was Roman making fun of you. He's standing right there.
Oh, okay. Roman, you didn't have an earring. How did you? Don't even worry about it.
Roman, what did you get? He probably heard you shouting Cerise and decided to see what.
No, I've been around these crazy kids for a long time. I know how they think, and it's very easy to find you all. Really, it is. But please, don't let me disturb you.
Okay, just be silent for me. I'm going to take out the. You calm down. I'm trying to concentrate.
Sorry.
I'm going to take out the offering that I got. Talk. You are here. And the offering that I got is actually a kind of a small figurine, kind of statue of a symbol of Juha, the god of wisdom, the god of war, and the god of useful arts. So I'll sit down and I will begin to mutter in Druidic as my tattoos begin to glow a warm yellow, and my spiritual body kind of like leaves my physical, and I kind of shoot through just kind of like this astral space until I stop and feel like this is the place to speak. And the first question will be, Juha, I come to you. It's been a while since I've been here, but the questions that I have are regarding something of catastrophic levels. So, question one: where is the lich located that stole the Book of Corruption Magics?
There is no lich that has stolen the Book of Corruption.
Okay. All right. It was in the lich. Got it. My second question is, who stole the Book of Corruption Magic?
The one you seek. You are close with. Nestro Datini.
No! You should. Oh. Nestro. Wow.
The rest of us are like, "Ooh."
Yeah, my physical body just goes, what? Okay. All right. That was my second question. Third question would be, where is the book located?
The Book of Corruption is located deep in the Shadow Ward, in a new fortress that is home to Vorak.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this knowledge. I will do well by it. And that was my third and final question, so
Okay.
I guess I appear back in my physical body. Okay. So we thought that it was the Lich who stole the book. It wasn't the Lich.
But he does have them.
Perhaps the person who stole the book was Nestro himself.
What? Shut the fuck up.
I know!
Your
Who's
gods are
Nestro?
stupid.
My tiefling.
Should this name mean something?
Yes, Nestro is
He's like his godfather.
yeah. He's a red tiefling.
He's my oldest friend. Yeah, fuck your gods. And Roman turns around to walk away.
Roman, wait, Roman. We already know that
That your gods are bullshit?
strong,
Yes.
strong magics can control the mind.
Mhm.
It could have happened to him. So let's not jump to conclusions, okay? Let's just take it as it is for now. The second thing that I learned was that the location of the book right now is deep within the Shadow Ward in the fortress of Volrock. So Volrock is still there in the Shadow Ward.
Okay.
Take that with a grain of salt, because that could be kind of sketchy in itself.
You guys have been around me too long. I love it. It's so
Yes.
Techies and
And that's all that I could. That's all that I could gather.
Okay. So, with that,
I'm wondering if it is the spire that this relates to, but I do not know.
instead of saying a name, I can describe a location. So I could try and describe the location that you just learned of for my legend lore spell and see if I can get more information on it.
Let's try it.
All right. Can you remind me of the wording? It was the fortress, a new fortress in the Shadow Ward.
Yes, a new
Built-
fortress in the Shadow Ward built for Volrock.
Built for Volrock. Okay. So Cerise starts building her circle of incense, lighting it very carefully. Sits in the center, puts the ivory chips around her, and says that.
says what?
The fortress.
Oh, you're
new
doing
fo-
legend lore, so you're trying to get the info.
Doing
Got
legend
it,
lore,
got it,
yeah.
Got it. Okay. I thought you were asking
Yeah.
a question, but I blanked for a second. Got it.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
So a moment passes, and then you get a rush of just information. Deep in the Shadow Ward, across the silent shore, through the dead woods, across the undying bridge towards the decaying shadows. On the eastern coast of the Shadow Ward lies the abyss, the gate to the abyssal plane. There on the cliff edge is the fortress of Volrock.
Okay. So I repeat this to Jadobi. Across the silent shores, through the dead woods, across the undying bridge towards King Shadow, on the eastern coast, near the gate to the abyss, on the edge is the fortress of Vorag. And do you have a rough idea in your mind with your map of where that is?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's pretty clear. So, like, when you look at the Shadow Ward, Jadobi, you would definitely know this. Cerise, you might even have some dealings with this. The eastern, just like the Fire Ward, has the, like, it's not just, like Forgotten Realms. They have all these different planes, and there's no other way to get there except for just a fucking plane shift there. So I have a lot of interplanar portals. So, in order to get to the Water Ward, you have to go to the Undying Abyss and the Material Plane and go through the ocean, and then you get there, right? The same thing with the Fire Ward. You go through the city to go through the 12 Hells. Got it. The Shadow Ward goes to the Abyssal Plane. So the only gate to the Abyssal Plane, if you don't plane shift there, is through, like, essentially on the eastern side of the Shadow Ward is just nothing. It's legitimately nothing. Just darkness
Barren
and
plains.
nothing. And you can actually walk on the nothing, but you don't know when the nothing is nothing, when the nothing is something, if that makes any sense. So there is a portal to the Abyssal Plane there. So his fortress is right there on the edge. Like, there's,
And I mean, this continent is an exact mirror of the Fae's continent too. So
almost, yes.
or at least in terms of its shape and
Yes.
yeah. So I might have some general idea of, like, okay, it would be this part. So that's actually where the Dead Fields is, if I'm looking at this map.
That's where the decaying shadows is, yes.
No, I mean in terms of Fae, it's the same peninsula as where the Dead Fields are. Or the lands of the Or2.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the second that Cerise says the portal of the abyss, I go, yes, see, it's never that easy. It's never that easy. We literally just learned where the portal is, and we know where it goes, but once we go through, we don't know where that will end us. But this is a very good starting stones for this, though.
Yes, and I mean, we don't need to go through the gates of the abyss to get to his castle. It's still in the Shadow Ward.
Possibly. But the thing is, when there's a portal on a castle, typically the guy in charge is on the other side of the portal, wherever that may be. So, but like I said, this is our good starting grounds. I'm glad we could do this. So, who thinks we should go tomorrow? Who thinks we should go to the city of Duthor in the Fire Ward to maybe get some more information, or take a field trip back to the Shadow Ward to this new fortress?
I think we should get more information before we charge into the fortress.
I was kind of thinking the same thing too.
But I don't want to go back to the Fire Ward.
I won't lie, I'm not a fan either, but we need information.
We
Yes,
do.
and we have fun disguises that we can use.
Oh,
Disguises. Yeah. So, like, there's tons of things we can just like pull together, and then Denahi she's like one of the best illusionist people that I've ever met, and and I can change my shape. The wizard could probably do stuff. At least we'll have that. We should not walk into the city as the light bringers. Like, no, that will stick out like a sore thumb. But if we walk in as like,
I'm so proud of you.
the rotten bringer,
so
something like that, it'll work.
I've always
I
wanted to
think that
be
is like-
smaller for fun.
We can make you smaller for fun.
that could be fun. I mean, unless we do a true polymorph, you'd still really be big. It would just you'd look smaller.
Would I really stand out that much? Says the incredibly
Shiny.
radiant, glowing Dragonborn.
It's just that you're so shiny. You're so shiny.
But he's,
I mean,
but he's so pretty, though.
I know.
Alright, I suppose you have a point.
Roman turns back into his was he a goblin at first, or was he a halfling?
He was a halfling, I believe.
Yeah. So he turns into his halfling form and just walks away. I'm going to
he?
You're letting that troublemaker walk away?
He's fine. Denahi, do you still have all of your fancy tricks that you do for stealing?
I don't think I was there. Sorry.
You can come down.
Okay. I activate the ear cuff. Hey, Denahi,
Yeah.
do you still have your fancy magics for stealing things? Like illusionary and stuff like that?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're lying, Denahi.
Yes, I do.
Saiyan gets visibly uncomfortable after hearing Janobi mentioning stealing things.
Don't worry, Boy Scout. I steal stuff too. Dork, your fly is open.
I mean,
He runs over.
even I have stolen things.
What?
Yes, saying pretty much you, I, and Torque are the only non-thieves on the team.
Good to
I
know.
did it for a good cause.
But Saiyan, you stole our hearts.
Roman, that was very deep of you
I'm
to
sorry.
say.
I think I just burped. I just
Alright.
threw up in my mouth a little bit there.
The DM keeps breaking me.
Almost as cute as kitten.
Cerise, you get a regular healing potion, and Jadobi, you get an inspo.
Oh, thank you.
Just as a reminder to you players and the fans, all this does carry over. So you could stack the party every day, even if they're not using stuff. Give them your
We
stuff.
will need it for the battle, or
Is
we're
it a
gonna
D6
die.
and 12?
Yeah.
Or...
Yeah.
Okay.
But are we?
Probably not.
Not with all this love. I love it.
We're all gonna live through the end of the campaign. So there.
There.
If I
Oh,
die,
Or will
it's
we?
cool. It's cool
So
if I die.
you all are kind of
Nothing
sorting
can be
out
done.
what you're gonna do tomorrow, possibly. Anything else you like to do before you go to sleep? And then we'll go back to Tormund.
For me, no, I can't think of anything to
Okay.
do. I'm sick.
So
I think Cerise just wants to catch Saiyan really quick
Okay.
on the as we're sort of walking out, and she sort of like looks at him and is like, "Saiyan, can I ask you something? You're as one of the most experienced people in the party in terms of I sorry.
Suppose?
Have you ever been in love?" She asks.
Yes.
If at all possible, he's suddenly an odd shade of rose gold now.
Love it.
Aw, that's cute.
I don't know how to.
I don't think
I-
she's talking about you, Saiyan. And
I
Roman
think-
removes his invisibility. Sorry, I can't help it. Really.
And she clearly leaves trucing on longer. Shame it only lasts 10 minutes.
Someone told me this means you're getting lucky.
I'm sorry, little one. I think I need to go now.
Sorry to intrude. I didn't.
As Saiyan walks away, Roman sits down in one of the chairs that happens to be in the hallway that I imagined to be there when this interaction happened. Cerise, how much have your friends told me about me? Or have they told you anything about me?
I've heard stories. I think you've appeared many times. You have seemed at first perhaps questionably trustworthy, but ended up working with the Duke of Edak, and then you were in some society, something. I have vague sketches of sort of things you played important parts of, and that you are a character, as it were.
Yes,
But I don't know much about you.
Yes. Yes, I am a trickster. I can't not be one. I have a hard edge. I make a lot of sarcastic comments. But the last time that your friend saw me, I had just lost the love of my life. My partner and I were together for a very long time. When he died, it destroyed me.
I'm so sorry for your
I
loss.
couldn't imagine my life without him. So, child, I know you are not young, but you are still young in the company of creatures that live through many mistakes. Do not waste any fucking time. If your heart is pulled in a direction, you grab it and you hold on it for as long as you can.
Cerise gets a little teary. I mean, my heart was being pulled in a direction, but I lost her too. It all happened so fast. I don't even know how long we really knew each other. Really, it was just.
But-
I don't even know if I knew her long enough to call it love.
When you know, you know.
I feel like I don't know. I just know I learned something about myself.
It's something that is very challenging. It really is. You try to fight through it. You try to question it. I hope you remember the good moments. I really do.
Can I give you a hug?
Sure. And he kind of is hugging more as well. Like he's remembering a lot of the same things.
Okay. Well, it's been an interesting day to meet anybody.
It always is, right?
Yeah. I think perhaps I should go to bed. But thank you so much for sharing that with me and talking to me.
Have a good night.
You too.
Okay.
As Saiyans walked away and looks for wherever the quarters that he's supposed to be staying is, he pretty much closes himself up in the room, starts getting himself ready for bed. His Holy Avenger longsword gets set down, and the second sword on his back, the one that apparently has not been used in some time, is the sword of Jocelyn the White. He hesitates a little bit before setting it down, just kind of staring at it. And then gently puts it down, lays Kiabel on the bed, and he just sort of slumps down on the bed with her.
And the only thing that Jadobi will do, just to prepare for this walk into this kind of town, the city filled with demons and fiends and whatever, he'll go ahead and cast Foresight on himself before bed.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay. Everyone else is going to sleep. God, I'm so angry. I'm jumping out of character for a second because I was really trying to find it. I don't know if Anne or Eric, if you remember what his husband's name was. He was a tabaxi. I don't even know where my notes are for Edak's shops. Like, it's so long ago.
I remember that it rhymed with like
Nico?
I remember that it rhymed with Nico.
Because there was also the Asmar, and I can't remember her name either.
I think her name was like Trin.
Trin, yeah.
Mhm.
Was his name just Nico, and then then I brought Nico back?
There was there was another like Seiko, or I can't remember what it was. You're right though, it rhymed.
This is way back in episode 7, you guys. That's why it's like hard to
Remembering back from so long ago.
Anyway, so I'm tired of looking through notes. I'll go back to the episodes. So, as you all find your rest and you go to sleep, Tormund...
He was rico, suave. Sorry.
You sit here and you watch...
Same time period, right?
Venri is sleeping now, kind of curled up near the fireplace, if there's a fireplace. And you're trying to stay awake, right, and watch him the whole time?
Yeah, I'm gonna burn a level of exhaustion to do it.
Got it. So, for the first quote-unquote watch, you're fine. The second watch, I want you to make a con or a wisdom save.
Con or wisdom save? Con is better, so that'll be 14.
Okay. 14. Now please make, for the third and final watch, very, very deep into the night, make your final wisdom save.
Ooh, okay, that's better. 19. Oh, wow. Oh, my wisdom save is better. Never mind. So 1926.
Good. Because the DC was higher for the third watch, so I'm glad that you accidentally did that.
Dope.
So about an hour or so before you think that your new friends will wake up, you see Venri like stirring around on the floor. And your eyes are kind of like you've done an all-nighter before, right? So your eyes are like really fuzzy, and you're like doing the face smacking. And one of the times you're like rubbing your eyes just for like literally a second, just to get like the sleep out of your eyes, and you open your eyes. Venri is standing and floating in front of you and looking at you. His eyes are jet black, and there's smoke coming out of his eyes.
Terrifying.
Tormund, I thought I killed you.
You thought wrong.
What pocket plane are you on? Why don't you pay me a visit so I finish the job? I feel his fear. I can taste it. This insect has been hiding from me for a very long time. Hiding your location. Protecting you for some reason. Instinctually or on purpose. It matters not. My plans are in place. And whether you look for me or I find you, our paths will cross again.
I'll look up. Good luck. And then I will.
Good luck saving your friend.
And you watch as Venri starts to convulse, and you watch as you see blood starts black and then turns red, starts coming out of his eyes, his nose, his ears. And he just
Counterspell
slams.
Counterspell at 9th level.
You can try it.
Do I have to roll for it if it's a 9th level spell?
Doesn't seem to have an effect. Venri falls on the ground, convulsing still for a moment, and then lays there lifeless. And that's where we're going to pick it up for next week.
Woo!
Thank you, Scabby Rooster, for the raid.
Scabby Rooster, what's up?
Wow.
Thank you all for joining us with the raid and everything else. You know what? Fuck it. Let's do it live. Exclamation point raffle.
Thanks, Wovalizer.
Join this last raffle. I will call a winner in 3 minutes. You have 3 minutes to do this. So, big shout out to all of our fans and mods and everybody else who's been helping today. Thank you guys for some awesome roleplay. Woo, definitely amped with the new trailer, with the new graphics and everything else. Very excited to get. This was the first episode of the last story arc. Those of you who are jumping in, we are in episode 86. We've been doing this for almost 2 years. The final story arc, the group here is called the Lightbringers. Regular inspiration to Saiyan and a potion to Tormund, by the way. And there was another one in there too.
Thank you, Wolf.
It's probably the same.
Thank
person.
you.
Yeah, Wolf. Thank you, Wolf.
Wovalizer, you rule.
So this group is called the Lightbringers, and they just killed my version of Dracula, essentially. And they are trying to find out some information. They found out some information about an archlich who has possession of an ancient book. They found out that there's some double agents with the Abyssal Plane and with the demons and the devils, and they are trying to stop Riha, the goddess of darkness, from coming back to kill everyone. So it's been a pretty awesome session. Awesome
High stakes.
Awesome beginning to this final arc. Last call for whatchamajiggies, exclamation point raffle while I figure out.
I was gonna say this session went by quick.
Yeah, that went by really quick. That was awesome, guys.
I was like, holy cow, it's 9:50.
Lizzie, as a fellow,
It's 1 o'clock in the morning here, and it feels like 10.
as a fellow viewer, Lizzie, I
Nice.
was just like, don't let Saiyan walk away. I want to
Oh,
know.
I know. Roman jumped in so fast, though, and he was going to give me the emotional support I needed.
Sorry.
Yep.
No, I know, but I'm like saying, what does that mean?
Oh, believe me, Eddie wanted to be there for you in that moment, but Sam was not ready for that conversation.
It's okay. That's good. That just means we'll dig deep later.
We'll pry later.
Well, there we go. That was
We're
like
coming
that
to
was like a can of worms there that we had opened
Yeah.
up. But no, it was really good. I was trying to find somebody to raid, and my Twitch is acting funny today. I don't know if it's acting funny for everybody else. Like super funny.
It's been hot all week, actually.
Yeah.
Shinobi inspiration, health Denahi.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Ooh.
Maddie
Nice.
Morgs. We're gonna go ahead and roll raid Maddie Morgs. They're also doing D&D. So go ahead and do some Ukodor Fabled 42 love. Also give some Scabby Rooster love. Spread this D&D party and keep it going. We will see you all on Sunday for the next episode of the Fables of Ukodor. I'm trying to get all my shows straight. And we'll see you all next week. So have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you guys later.
Oh, raffle.
Oh, raffle.
I just finished it. Later.
Ray train.
Right, everyone.
Flames have ridges.